Yo, 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 yo. Yo, 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 yo. We back. Back. And I'm tired, but we back. Yo, but I want to show y'all something, man. I learned something new today. Well, I ain't gonna say what's up, Victoria. I ain't gonna say I learned something new. Yo, but this word content that they've been using that shit for a long time, man. And and transitioning content into sending people to jail, I think that was the plan the whole time. So yo, this probably is content. What's up, Rez? What we getting is content. So I'm gonna show y'all something, right? So everybody always talk about Durk, Big U, and all these niggas. Like yo, they doing this, they doing that. Yo, but I'm ready to show y'all some real gangster shit. Think Big U gangster. You think Durk on some gangster shit, right? We show what this motherfucking government do. Show how the government get down with their gangsterism. They go unnoticed, untouched, unaccounted for, unanswered. Nobody goes to jail because it's sanctioned. The gangster shit they do get sanctioned. But before I do that, right, I want to watch some videos that we ain't watched yet. Kayvon White. What's up, Reza? What's up, Benji? I want to watch this. So I'm sure most people saying this by now. But I was telling y'all yesterday, I don't think
Shit, I mean, ain't no way to feed this shit.
So this the guy that's supposed to be locked up for killing Mo3. I don't think y'all bees had anything to do with Mo3 death, y'all. Like for real. I think Mo3 died over a female. I think he died over a female. What's up, Big Low? What's up, Al? Appreciate it, bro.
I mean, ain't no way to feed this shit. It's just gotta wait to the end. I gotta go all the way to show, you know. Gotta go all the way, man. So everybody that know what happened.
Right, you gotta go. So now you gotta go all the way with the 3 situation now, right?
Yeah.
So what the fuck?
It's over with though. It's over with for sure though. But you know, what it is, man. It's life.
What you mean it's over with for you, or what you mean is over like what you think you still coming home?
Oh, that's over with.
Oh, that's over with. So what made you give up?
It's just over with, man.
Right.
You know, sometimes you just gotta accept life for what it is.
Right.
This call is from a federal
That's a fact, though.
Peace with myself, bro. It is what it is, you know.
Right.
One thing about me, man, a nigga can never say I'm a fuck nigga or nothing, bro. You can call me gay if you want to. You can call me whatever you want to call me, but nigga can never say I did no fuck shit to nobody. I always was loyal to everybody. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it is what it is. You know, it's what you get for being loyal to the game and to niggas. You know what I'm saying? I haven't did nothing, but it is what it is. So it's over with. I'm ready to just go and get over and get my time in. And either shit.
I think the Lord Dawson dude, who girlfriend it was, telling on yo. He the one telling, it ain't him.
I just told my lawyer straight up, man. It is what it is. Just fight for me. Shit. I don't care. Just fight for me. Just show me that you gonna put a fight up for me. That's all I care about.
But you know, did you see the news? Yeah.
Man, I seen all that.
Right.
But see, y'all the one not seeing what's going on. It's. I haven't been to the county. That's all I gotta say.
I know you. I know you.
Why wait this long, bro? Why wait this long? I could have been home. I could have been home on protected custody, rich by now from the government and everything. But you know how that shit go. I'm still here. I'm still going through hell.
You still here going through hell, so
I don't got no family. I don't got no family. I don't got nobody. You know what I'm saying? If that's the case, I would have been there with. I don't got nobody. I got a little couple of family to make sure I'm good when they can, but I don't got nobody.
So you mean so you ain't so that mean you ain't telling then, right?
Hell no.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like you ain't telling. That's what I'm saying. But we all know who's telling.
That's why I said that to you. That's why you gotta pay attention to how I'm talking to you. That's why I said in so many words. I got to go all the way to show everybody the real.
Right. You got to go all the way now to show everybody the motherfucking real. And like that's what I said in our last interview. That everybody's gonna be fucking shocked. When? Because
truly I could give me something that, you know, a nigga might can come on to, you know, I can go probably try to get a 60 ball or something like that, you know, just to get out their way. But,
right.
Man, fuck them. I'm gonna go out of the way. I'm gonna make them pay. You know what I'm saying?
Wanna Mo3, the dude that's locked up for killing Mo3, Kayvon White.
I can do 20. I can do 30 and come on. But,
yeah, because this shit was over a female. He really did this shit for his homeboy. Because it wasn't his girl. Yo, fuck with trannies, transmissions. I mean, he like fixing cars and shit. It was the other guy, the dark-skinned dude. It was your girl that Mo3 was fucking with.
If I do that, it still gonna look bad. So I just rather just go all the way.
Why they crazy? Why is they? I don't understand though. What I don't understand is why is they putting you in the fucking news talking about in the hearing talking about they gave 40,000, my nigga, and you the only one, and it's like why is they using you only?
Man, I wouldn't do nothing for 40,000. I wouldn't never do. Man, that's not even enough to get a lawyer, but I wouldn't do nothing for 40,000.
Right.
Wherever they got the information from, they lying like a bitch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And the funk ass so player boy, that nigga he feel so played. So player feel so played because he feel like I didn't go through him to get the fucking interview from you and shit. And I was trying to tell so player. I'm like, it's a lot of things that you don't know. I said, no, you want the one that physically called me to get your interview. You ignore.
Hold on. You ain't even got to tell him that. Next time you talk to him, all you got to tell him is you weren't the one motherfucking making sure I was good. You weren't making sure I was good, nigga. So, nigga, you ain't shit to me.
Damn right.
This is family. You know what I'm saying?
And then
it's family. This who been with me at the beginning when everything came down. So fuck what they talking about, bro. Like that's why I told Ma, you know me, you know the real. Like you don't even have to question me like that. You know how I'm coming. My pride too bad to go.
I don't think Yellow Bees and Trap Lil Ross had nothing to do with it. Not Trap Lil Ross, Trap Boy Freddy. I don't think they had nothing to do with it, yo. The dude that's concocting this story, he just trying to get from up under this motherfucker. I told y'all, yo, people will say anything. People will say anything, yo, to get charges, to slide from up under charges. They probably coerce Shorty to say, Yellow Beezy took 40,000. You know, that shit probably was coerced. Like, yo, these people dirty, man. They'd do anything. You tell me you lock this man up 5 years later. Yo, Mo3 died over a female, man. Yo, Beezy ain't had nothing to do with that shit. Mo3 was fucking that man girl, and yo felt some type of way. Got his homeboy, you know what I mean?
Like that, it's already bad enough I did other shit, you know what I'm saying? But I stand on what I stand on, and shit, nigga better not fuck with me. But I ain't never been on that side of the field. I done did all this other stuff, but I never been on that side of I'm never that type of nigga, bro.
No,
fact. You know what I'm saying? But
he's a mechanic.
You know, and man, I just been through so much shit these last months, bro. Like, I'm talking about no commissary or lockdown or nothing.
Yo, people say everything, bro. See, that's the thing.
Life,
I know people who say anything. People admit the crimes they ain't commit. Like, yo, when they talking about when your life on the line, yo, a lot of these people will they're telling people anything. And the police will help them. They'll help them. They'll coerce them. And that shit won't be on record. Like, this the dirty part I be telling people about all the time.
So at the end of the day, I guess I just accept whatever comes.
Nah, fact. Nigga, what was your, nigga, like, real nigga shit, I wanted to know, like, when you seen them motherfucking yellow bees in court, nigga, what was your first thought? Like, I know, cause when I seen, I was like, really?
Niggas lying. My first thought is niggas lying, and shit. One domino effect, shit. I ain't gonna say all of them because that's not true. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
Shit, they don't look too good.
Nah.
And they trying to make something where it's not even that. They all trying to make this to this. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, you know, they don't do what they want to do. They want to spend their money and do all that. It's them.
Nah, fact.
All I know is, you know, only thing I ask y'all for is make sure I got a crispy suit. That's it. I just want a turtleneck. I don't even want no suit. Just give me a turtleneck and some nice slacks and some glasses. That's how I'm coming.
Yeah, shit. Nigga, you still need to get my motherfucking number, shit. But nigga, like, I mean, like, right
but
now.
my lawyer finna do some shit. So y'all really finna see some clarification come in a hot minute.
Right.
So my lawyer finna, you know, she said I talked to her, you know, she said she don't like how they trying to put me as a snitch. She don't like that because I could have been dead that if that was the case.
Right. And that's fucked up how they trying to
put. A lot of niggas don't know. A lot of niggas don't know the feds and the government.
But that's them dumbass bloggers. They never painted you out as a snitch. That's some dumbass bloggers that be speaking on criminal cases that don't know shit about criminal cases. Yo, when we watched that hearing, what did we say? I said, oh no, he ain't the one telling. But a lot of these bloggers ran with the shit. I think I might even said it at first until I watched that hearing. And I'm like, oh no, he ain't the one telling. It's the other nigga. It's the other dude telling. Yo ain't saying shit. But it's them blogs not knowing about criminal cases, just talking. Charlene, what it is.
Guys, so I can't wait to trial so I can expose a lot of shit. I went through a lot of shit about this shit, bro.
I think they're gonna throw it out too, Pride. They don't have a case.
Shit, you know what I'm saying? And for them to do me like this, I ain't going like that. Y'all, hell no. I'm gonna fight for mine. Y'all gonna have to give me that shit. I'm not accepting.
This call is from a federal prison.
Y'all play dirty games, especially at the beginning. Had paperwork talking about to go home, 100% immunity, protected custody, all that shit. Yeah, nah, I don't like that.
Hell nah. For what?
I don't even like that indictment. Like, if y'all gonna do some shit, bro, at least be honest, bro. If y'all gonna say some shit, y'all didn't come with honest facts, bro. I don't like the lying shit, all that beating around the bush shit. That shit weird. That what getting me, cause it's not true. That's what's not getting me. A lot of shit is not true.
And you want to know what's up? You know the world right now. The world right now is me, you, and I'm key one. I'm key one manager, and they need to put the bag on my head because I know too much.
See, they don't even know what the real going on. That's how dumb we know the world is. The world don't even know who my manager is.
You know what I'm saying?
They just think. Cause that's so player did that. But the phone finna go off in a minute, so as much love to y'all, but I'm gonna get with y'all tomorrow. I'm gonna call y'all tomorrow. But that's so player doing that, man. You know what I'm saying? And my lawyer told me I'm gonna be rich after I go to trial, so it's going up. It's going up. Everything expensive after trial.
Man, keep it so on cliff, man. Keep it cliff, man. Say your kids, you talk to the kids, everybody.
You know,
the family.
good energy, man. Good energy.
Nigga, the family good. You talk to the kids, everybody good.
Fuck, you gonna be a rich inmate? These niggas be crazy. Fuck. Alright, but let me show y'all what's going on with Thug, yo, before we get to the real topic, yo. Cause I wanna show y'all some gangster shit. And I wanna show y'all how they manipulated this internet. Hopefully now it's not a copyrighted
Thug.
situation.
Tonight the Fulton County District Attorney's Office
certain
filed a motion to revoke
videos like that. They be trying to copyright you and shit. But I'm gonna show y'all how long they've been manipulating the internet. Though this shit been going on since 2007. Since 2007, yo, they was transitioning the internet to be some type of federal program. I'm gonna show you.
To Action News exclusive on rapper Young Thug. Tonight, the Fulton County District Attorney's Office filed a motion to revoke his probation. The rapper was released on bond last November. We broke the story on WSBTV.com around 8:30 tonight. And Channel 2 investigative reporter Mark Winnie joins us now live from the newsroom. Mark, the DA spoke exclusively to you about this motion.
Yeah, this concerns the YSL gang racketeering conspiracy case. Last year, DA Fonnie Willis suggested to us the sentence for rap superstar Young Thug, real name Jeffrey Williams, that let him hit the street the night he pled guilty or nolo contendere to all charges he faced, was a sentence which could send him to prison for years if he crossed the wrong line. Now this. If your motion is successful, Young Thug would go to prison.
He could.
A new and dramatic verse in the case surrounding music star Young Thug, real name Jeffrey Williams. A motion from prosecutors at the Fulton County District Attorney's Office to revoke Williams' probation. It says, quote, since sentencing, the defendant has engaged in conduct that directly threatens the safety of witnesses and prosecutors, compromises ongoing legal proceedings, and warrants immediate revocation of probation. Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis.
What our motion is concerned about is that we certainly believe that his post was to threaten law enforcement, which is all part of gang activity.
Jeffrey Williams' attorney Brian Steele told me by phone it is never appropriate to be engaged in any type of witness intimidation. It is never appropriate to threaten to murder another person. The prosecution's motion to revoke Jeffrey's probation should not be well received and should be swiftly rejected. It is irresponsible to file a motion of this sort when Jeffrey has done absolutely nothing, Steele said, to violate any condition of probation or threaten a witness.
We know that it is clear to Mr. Williams that the intent of the district attorney is to stop gang activity in Fulton County, Georgia. We believe the judge's order is clear, and that this is an intentional violation.
The motion says investigator Marissa Viverito is currently testifying in a gang murder hearing and indicates a judge ordered the witness not be shown on TV while testifying, but that a blogger posted on social media she doesn't want to be shown on screen. Well, here she is, along with a photo of the investigator. The motion says on Tuesday, Young Thug reposted the image, and the post went viral, amassing more than 2 million views. The motion says Viverito's home address and her parents' home address were publicly posted, exposing them to grave danger, and that hours later, an additional post emerged threatening the assassination of D.A. Willis. The motion alleges Williams' continued association with individuals actively involved in witness intimidation, threats of violence, and obstruction of justice constitutes a clear violation of probation conditions. Last year, Ms. Willis suggested to us there was room for accountability in Young Thug's complicated sentence involving 5 years commuted time served, followed by 15 years probation to be followed by a, quote, backloaded 20-year prison term, which would also be commuted to time served if he successfully completes the probation, which was loaded with lots of special conditions. I expect, Wendy, a courtroom fight over this one. Reporting live in
the fuck that money up. That was stupid. You better pay the judge. The fuck? You got money, don't you? You better pay the motherfucking judge. They take payment. More than likely, Fannie Willis already ran that shit past the judge. If she did it the right way. That's crazy. Let me show y'all some gangster shit though. No, not that. So y'all know I've been talking about Wikileaks and Edward Snowden and Julian Assange and all these guys that the United States wanted to kill, right? And we've been talking about Durk and Big U and all those guys. But look at how these people operate.
When Julian Assange appeared at the National Press Club in April 2010 to release a video depicting a U.S. Apache military helicopter killing 18 people, including 2 Reuters journalists.
This particular event is clearly murder.
He was hailed in some circles as a hero.
We really owe a debt to Mr. Assange and to WikiLeaks.
In the months that followed, WikiLeaks released massive tranches of classified and sensitive documents related to the US wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, as well as more than 250,000 US diplomatic cables. As US intelligence agencies scrambled to deal with leaks on a scale never seen before, Assange rose to worldwide stardom, and for some, infamy.
Government secrets, lies, and embarrassing facts, they're all on the web for anyone to see.
The story behind the biggest leak in intelligence history, profile on me.
Hello, America. I'm Julian Assange, founder of Wikileaks.
But with infamy came increased scrutiny for Assange, and by 2012, the walls were closing in. Faced with an extradition order to Sweden for...
Now they hit this dude with trumped up ass charges in a whole nother country. Charged him with some type of sexual assault. Look at how they did this dude, man.
Multiple charges, including rape, he found refuge in Ecuador's London embassy.
I thank President Correa for the courage he has shown in considering and in granting me political asylum.
The Obama administration struggled with the First Amendment issues surrounding charging Assange with crimes related to the disclosure of classified information.
The fact is, these documents don't reveal any issues that haven't already informed our public debate.
And ultimately declined to do so.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
With the advent of the Trump administration also came new blood to the upper echelons of the Justice Department and national security bureaucracy, and a new, tougher attitude toward Assange.
It's time to call out WikiLeaks for what it really is. A non-state hostile intelligence service often abetted by state actors like Russia.
This antagonism only intensified when WikiLeaks started publishing ultra-secret CIA hacking tools in March 2017. In response, the CIA repeatedly proposed kidnapping the WikiLeaks founder from the Ecuadorian embassy in London and flying him to the United States.
Kidnapping him and flying him to the United States. Or murder. No matter how they wanted it, they was going to do whatever they needed to do to get this man. And a lot of people think what he did was honorable.
Some senior Trump administration officials and CIA executives even discussed assassinating Assange, according to former intelligence officials. Later in 2017, US intelligence agencies picked up reports that Russian intelligence agents were plotting to arrange for Assange to escape London. Some of the suspected scenarios appeared almost cartoonish, ranging from the lanky Australian hiding himself in a laundry cart to hopping into a Russian diplomat's van and being loaded onto a cargo plane to Russia. The intrigue over an Assange breakout set up a wild scramble among rival spy agencies to position themselves for what might happen. CIA and Trump administration officials prepared for a number of scenarios to prevent Assange from escaping to Russia, including potential gun battles with Russian operatives on the streets of London, smashing a car into the vehicle transporting Assange and grabbing him, and shooting out the tires of a plane carrying Assange before it could take off. While the kidnapping plot never came to pass, President Trump was briefed and warned that the matter could provoke an international incident.
I know nothing about WikiLeaks. It's not my thing.
Other officials, including Attorney General Jeff Sessions, who was, quote, very, very anti-Assange, argued that Assange's case was best handled through overt legal channels.
The Attorney General will be involved in that, and he'll make a decision.
By 2019, the Swedes had dropped their investigation into Assange, but the WikiLeaks founder had also worn out his welcome in the Ecuadorian embassy. Exactly 9 years and 6 days after his first appearance at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C., Assange was evicted and released into British custody. That same day, the U.S. government unsealed its initial indictment of Assange. A British judge initially ruled that Assange could not be extradited to the United States, citing a high risk of suicide. But in July, a UK court formally permitted a US appeal to move forward. For now, Assange's legal odyssey appears to have only just begun.
Now, he wound up catching prison time. You ain't heard from him since. That nigga might not even be alive. But I wanted to show y'all this, because people think that we the only gangsters, or where we get this gangster shit from. A lot of this shit is the American fucking way, man. But let me show y'all how they did the internet. Check this shit out. Edward Snowden. Let's go back. Check Edward Snowden out. How they did his ass. And how they turned the internet into a fucking federal program.
This is a highly classified program that is crucial to our national security.
Over 2 presidencies. I'm not aware of any case in which Obama said you can't do that.
I argued it was illegal and unconstitutional.
And proud of that, and that's what I be trying to get people to understand. Like, what the fuck we do as a country, man, that shit don't compare to what the fuck you be. Oh, he needed it. He was doing this to his own community, man. Did you hear what they tried to do to get? They was gonna ram his car, shoot the plane wheels, kill hella innocent people just to get y'all. I don't want to hear no gangster shit. America is the biggest gangsters.
Comes out, all hell is gonna break loose.
They don't get no more gangster than this.
Investigation continues.
The NSA specifically targets the communications of everyone.
With the story of the man who exposed it all. Snowden said he was risking his freedom and possibly his life. This was a stupendous intelligence breach. And the convergence of government surveillance and an information revolution.
The Googles, the Facebooks collect as much of our sensitive data as possible.
But anything you hand to a private company is potentially government.
Tonight on Frontline,
Corporate America and national security state know so much about us. We know so little about them.
Privacy Lost, Part 2 of United States of Secrets.
Hopefully they don't strike this video. I don't like you watching shit like this.
Hong Kong, May 2013.
You can watch black people killing each other all day on this bitch. You watch one of these videos, they be sending a little gray strip at the bottom of the screen. Basically time you turn it off.
Was holed up deep inside the crowded Kowloon district.
Y'all ain't gonna be able to see it, but I see it.
He chose Hong Kong, he would say later, because he trusted the Chinese would not betray him to U.S. authorities. Before leaving his home in Hawaii, he had downloaded a huge store of top-secret files from the NSA's internal networks, and he had sent many of them through encrypted channels to a few journalists he trusted. Two of them, Glenn Greenwald of The Guardian and documentary filmmaker Laura Poitras, came to the Mira Hotel to meet him. Greenwald and Poitras wanted to be sure Snowden's story was rock solid, and they needed to work fast.
We knew that this was incredibly consequential and that it was super important that we get it right. But also there was always this kind of uncertainty, one might even say danger, hovering over the room. Because we didn't know what the NSA knew about what he was doing. We didn't know what the Chinese and Hong Kong governments knew about him being there. So we thought it was very possible that the door could be barged down at any moment.
What are some of the positions that you held?
The Guardian also sent a senior correspondent to vet their source.
I asked, do you mind if I tape the interview on an iPhone? And as soon as he saw the iPhone, it was like bringing out a microphone direct into the NSA headquarters. He was totally appalled. So he said, get that out of the room as quickly as possible.
When you're in position,
even then, Snowden still worried that someone might be recording them.
He would often put a blanket over his head when he wanted to enter this computer system to prevent overhead cameras from picking up the passwords to the encryption.
Damn.
As Snowden explained more about the tens of thousands of documents, McCaskill listened carefully.
I was sort of warming to the idea that, this guy was for real.
One of the first files they discussed was this one. It directed Verizon Business Services to turn customer phone records over to the NSA. The journalists were stunned.
What this document revealed is that the NSA surveillance system is not directed at very bad people or about terrorists. It's directed at the American citizenry and other citizenries around the world indiscriminately in bulk.
The document directly contradicted what Director of National Intelligence General James Clapper had said before Congress just a few months earlier.
Does the NSA collect any type of data at all on millions or hundreds of millions of Americans?
No, sir.
You'll lie like a bitch. Lying motherfucker.
Not wittingly.
That's why I ain't got no hair.
There are cases where they could inadvertently, perhaps, collect, but not wittingly.
I think for Snowden, the Clapper testimony was the final nail in the coffin. Watching President Obama's top national security official go before the Senate Intelligence Committee and outright lie about what the NSA was doing convinced him, I think beyond any shadow of a doubt, that the only hope for public discussion and reform was for him to do what he was going to do.
At the Guardian's New York bureau, senior
this
editors
should
received a
get
message from
real.
Hong Kong.
I sent a message saying the Guinness is good, which meant Snowden's for real. And one of the deputy editors in New York said when he saw those words come over, he just went, fantastic. We've got a real story.
The Guardian decided to publish the story as fast as possible. They called the White House and gave them 4 hours to comment.
I remember well getting the phone call, and it was one of these situations where it almost took us a few minutes to get our minds around how big of a leak this was and how comprehensive the set of revelations were. We had very little time to react.
They sounded the alarm and reached out to an NSA official, John DeLong.
I have 2 computers on my desk, a classified computer and unclassified computer, and I'm used to seeing that document on the classified computer, and I did a real double take, and I remember just sitting there for 30 seconds checking and rechecking to see what computer this classified document appeared on. The gravity of it was quite palpable, and I thought, this is going to be a really tough story as it comes out.
At The Guardian, Editor-in-Chief Janine Gibson took a return call from the White House.
She has the deputy head of the NSA and the White House on the phone, and they essentially are trying to persuade her not to publish.
Yeah, they do.
The White House tactic was one that, okay, come and see us, let's talk about this, and you can chat to our officials and we can discuss what might be published and what might not.
Janine has her own script, which is to say, look, if you have any significant objections on the grounds of national security, then tell us. Now is the moment to tell us. And of course they don't. They just want to stall her.
The Guardian refused to wait.
Snowden yet.
British newspaper The Guardian reports that Verizon is providing phone records of some
British newspaper to uncover how the
It was just the beginning.
spying on Americans and
At the Washington Post, reporter Barton Gelman, the only other reporter to receive
Yeah, I
documents
know. They've
directly
been
from
fucking me over
Snowden,
lately.
was working on
And my
another
numbers
story.
have dropped tremendously.
Before publishing, he contacted the NSA.
I sent notes to 2 high-ranking people
I
and
think
a
I went too hard on
spokesperson in
wet.
government and said, I have something very
This is going to prove to y'all what I've been saying about federal agents being on YouTube.
sensitive to talk to you about.
The story concerned another NSA program called PRISM.
Look at this.
Documents showed how beginning in 2000...
Look at this. Microsoft, YouTube, Google, Facebook, Yahoo, YouTube, Skype, AOL. Listen, look at this shit, man.
2007, 9 internet companies were cooperating with the NSA. Gelman wanted to make sure his reporting wouldn't damage national security.
We very much did want to know what they thought would do concrete harm and how and why. And the U.S. government asked me not to publish the names of the 9 companies that were supplying information to the government in the PRISM program. And I said, why? Their argument was that if we published the names, then the companies would be less inclined to cooperate. And I guess we agreed to disagree on that one.
The Washington Post is reporting that the
Post went ahead.
FBI are mining the servers of 9 leading U.S. internet.
The PRISM revelations
FBI.
reached beyond the collection.
The FBI is mining the service of 9 internet agencies. So y'all don't think they got FBI informants on YouTube? I'm trying to tell you, they all over the place, man. You don't know who the fuck they are. I mean, I be trying to tell y'all who they is. But the average person don't know who the fuck they is, man. Like, yo, this shit been in the works. During 2013, this shit been in the works. To transition this internet into a fucking police tool.
Of phone records.
Spying on its own citizens.
This was about the acquisition of content of tens of thousands of NSA targets.
There go that word, content. The content word. So content was always used to target people. So I guess what we are witnessing is content. But I don't think people really understand the definition of what content is.
Did you check your account on Gmail? Secret spying program is entirely different.
The PRISM program is not about metadata, it's about content. It's photos and videos you send, it's the words of your emails, it's the sounds of your voice on a Skype call, it's all the files you have stored on a cloud drive service. It's content, it's everything.
The president was on a fundraising trip in Silicon Valley. At a press conference, he agreed to take one question about the leaks.
Good morning, everybody. I'm going to take one question. I don't want the whole day to just be a bleeding press conference, but I'm going to take Jackie Holmes' question.
Mr. President, could you please react to the reports of secret government surveillance of phones and internet? And can you also assure Americans that the government, your government, doesn't have some massive secret database of all their personal online information and activities?
Yeah. What the intelligence community is doing is looking at phone numbers and durations of calls. They are not looking at people's names, and they're not looking at content.
The president tried to downplay the revelations.
Now, with respect to the internet and emails, this does not apply to U.S. citizens, and it does not apply to people living in the United States. In the abstract, we can complain about Big Brother and how this is a potential.
We back, project.
You know, program run amok. But when you actually look at the details, that
in Hong Kong, Snowden was sitting with 3 people under contract from The Guardian. They were sitting there on the bed, watching the reaction on CNN.
Not looking at people's names, and they're not looking at content.
Obama was saying the NSA isn't listening to the telephone calls or reading the emails of Americans, which is absolutely wrong. There were documents that we had that proved that President Obama's claims in that regard were false. And we just could tell as well that he, at that moment, didn't have any idea of the true magnitude of what was coming, given how dismissive and casual his tone was.
Thank you very much, guys. That's it.
Snowden now decided to make a bold move. He would reveal his identity, posting a video he had recorded a few days earlier.
Laura set up the camera. Glenn was asking the questions. And normally, Snowden wore a t-shirt, and Glenn says, "Can you not find a shirt?" And Snowden would often find a grey shirt.
My name's Ed Snowden. I'm 29 years old. I work for Booz Allen Hamilton as an infrastructure analyst for NSA in Hawaii. What we see is someone who is calm, rational, persuasive. The NSA specifically targets the communications of everyone. It ingests them by default. It collects them in its system, and it filters them, and it analyzes them, and it measures them, and it stores them.
The language was clear, sympathetic. And when he did the interview, it was as if he was a media natural. So we knew that when Snowden went public, it was going to be a huge story.
Why should people care about surveillance?
Because even if you're not doing anything wrong, you're being watched and recorded. And he sets out why he's done this thing, and what his motives are, and basically sort of puts the ball in the court of the public and says, you make up your minds as to whether this is right or not. These things need to be determined by the public, not by somebody who was simply hired by the government. This is the truth. This is what's happening. You should decide whether we need to be doing this.
Edward Snowden, according to The Guardian, is in Hong Kong.
Contractor who leaked the existence of NSA programs.
Man, some people think he did the right thing, but the United States want to kill him. Like this is what I be trying to explain to people. Like, yo, this gangster shit is way bigger than the black community. Way bigger than the black community. Shit, I was, to be honest, I was happy he said that shit. That was this bitch spying on people through their TVs and shit. Like, man, they was doing a whole bunch of, they probably still doing it, for real.
Hong Kong 3 weeks ago,
that.
after copying.
We knew that the minute we unveiled his identity, that he was going to have to go into hiding, because the media horde was about to descend onto Hong Kong and would be looking for him, and the U.S. government would certainly be looking for him.
At that point, he knew it was untenable. Some enterprising journalist had put up on Twitter the pictures of the hotel room and says, does anybody recognise these light fittings? And someone was able to establish it was a mirror.
Where Edward Snowden is believed to have a hotel is just across the harbor.
So Snowden knew they were on their way. So about midday, he left his hotel room.
And there was definitely a kind of air of sadness over our last meeting because I had assumed that the next time I saw him, he was going to be in U.S. custody on the television screen.
Snowden left it to the journalists to decide which documents to publish, and then he disappeared into the crowded streets of Hong Kong. For 2 weeks, he managed to elude the world's press corps.
In Hong Kong. Apparently still in Hong Kong.
In Russia.
And to avoid U.S. authorities.
Edward Snowden has been charged with 2 counts of espionage and theft of
This guy is a traitor. He's a
On
defector.
June 23rd, Edward Snowden set off for South America via Russia.
Transit through Russia. Supposedly he's headed for Ecuador.
He ended up in Russia for one very simple reason, and that is that the United States government forced him to stay there by preventing him from leaving.
Snowden is believed to be holed up inside Moscow's
transit zone at Moscow Airport.
He could no longer get a ticket and leave Russia because his passport had been revoked by the U.S. government.
Damn.
People may die as a consequence of what this man did. And anybody who wants to make him a hero is misjudging how they...
The man on the run from U.S. authorities.
One of the greatest security breaches in American history.
Russia has granted Edward Snowden asylum.
Edward Snowden was granted asylum in Russia.
Less likely he will ever see inside of a U.S. courtroom.
Has filed a lawsuit challenging the NSA.
Back in the U.S., at NSA headquarters, the news hit hard.
Headline, and it has grown bigger.
Through billions of phone records.
It was hard to read in the press. NSA is lawless, NSA out of control. None of those resonate with us. That's not us. That's not what we are aiming towards. That's not how we hold ourselves accountable. Our ultimate goal is to prevent bad things from happening, to ensure the national security. If you want to draw the box differently, you want to have the security community work in a smaller box, I got it. But before you do that, you got to understand. You got to understand what the costs might be. I mean, we live inside a democracy, and, the public will matters in a democracy. I just hope it's informed public will. And frankly, when the decisions are made, you understand the costs.
We have to strike the right balance between protecting our security and preserving our freedoms.
The president did what executives in the midst of a controversy often do.
Review of our surveillance programs.
He appointed a panel.
So I'm tasking this independent group to step
This
back.
one to review the NSA's programs.
And they will provide an interim report in 60 days and a final report by the end of this year so that we can move forward with a better understanding of how these...
His directions were go wherever you want. You can see any classified program. No one can deny you any information. You can go anywhere in the intelligence community. You can recommend anything, except realize that what I won't accept is any block between me and my constitutional oath of defending the United States.
U.S. internet companies. The highly classified program is codenamed PRISM.
Because the truth is named as ratting. See, that's what I be trying to explain to people, like, yo, this no snitch. This not a street rule. This is an American rule. You see what America do to its rats? They try to eradicate the motherfuckers, send them to prison. Oh my God. Man, why the fuck you keep coming over here with that dumbass page? I'm ready to block your dumbass.
The Guardian and the Washington Post both reported that the national security...
On the other side of the country, in Silicon Valley, there was anger and confusion over just what kind of access major internet companies were giving the NSA.
Extracting audio, video, photographs, and email.
There was shock and disbelief and horror. A lot of people I know, Silicon Valley type people, just felt, it can't be right. It's not possible. Google, Facebook, these guys are collaborating. It's just not what they would do.
CEOs of internet companies like Facebook and Google denied.
The companies scrambled to respond to the news.
Google denies that they have direct access. Who's right?
They freaked out because they'd never heard of a program called PRISM, and they were not letting the NSA get direct access to their servers. They were cooperating with a secret program that they really couldn't describe in sufficient detail to their customers.
It's very sensitive. These NSA folks are saying it's the...
They saw here a big threat to their image, to their business model, which relies on people to trust them with their communications. And they started issuing quite heated statements, taking issue with the idea that they would be just handing over free access to the NSA.
But then there was more bad news.
The Washington Post, citing documents stolen and released by Edward Snowden,
PRISM was only part of what the NSA was up to.
newly disclosed way the NSA is monitoring the...
In a program called Muscular, the NSA was secretly extracting data from fiber optic cables overseas, where intelligence operations are much less restrained by surveillance laws.
Damn.
PRISM was the front door. PRISM was the court saying you have to cooperate with the NSA and give specific information when asked. Now they find out that through the back door, the government is actually breaking into their infrastructure and taking whatever they want.
They can't intentionally look for a U.S. person's information unless they believe it's a legitimate foreign target. But otherwise, they're free to collect data pretty much unrestricted abroad. They can hack into companies' internal networks and collect information in bulk.
The NSA did this by invoking a Reagan-era presidential order from a time long before the modern internet.
The NSA decided it was okay under Executive Order 12333 and with the backing of the Justice Department and the White House to break into the private links, the private data links that connect the data centers of Google and Yahoo around the world. You're collecting a very large fraction of the whole planet's internet traffic, and that includes a very large number of Americans.
Identified by the codename Muscular is run jointly with...
We do not just tap into lines in the United States. Overseas, the ability to do that in bulk is critical for finding the communications of people who are trying to hide. If you can look for certain patterns and dive into those communications, you find people utterly unknown to you who are very dangerous.
Google was shocked. They had leased what they thought were secure data lines.
The idea that one of our own government agencies would go out and essentially break into Google's own data streams to go beyond what Google thought had been a skeptical and resistant but nevertheless cooperative relationship, I find that quite shocking. That is sort of a betrayal of the relationship that I think Google felt like it had with the government.
The leaked files even showed the NSA operatives bragging about their accomplishment.
There was that one slide, the internal NSA slide, showing a little diagram how it worked. It sort of boasted about it, and it put a little smiley face there. This little, like emoji gotcha, saying, haha, we figured out a way to get that information.
Traveling between data.
Google, which had a better record than most companies on encryption, was criticized for leaving its internal data lines vulnerable.
I don't know why Google wasn't encrypting the information traveling between their data centers, but we know that they worked. And we know that the NSA revelations have prompted them to make massive changes in the way their systems work. And they're now trying to encrypt that data on a crash program to get all of that information encrypted.
The NSA will now have a harder time reading Google's data without Google's knowledge.
Obviously, the National Security Agency did not design its programs on the assumption that they would be exposed. Much of this damage is down to Snowden, who is quite deliberately causing as much harm to U.S. companies and the U.S. national interest as he possibly can, leaking these stories in media that are most likely to hype them in ways that will be damaging to the United States.
It should have been no surprise that the NSA would be digging into the company's data. Immediately after 9/11, the companies had been warned.
This new law that I signed today will allow surveillance of all communications used by terrorists, including emails, the internet, and cell phones. As of today, we'll be able to better meet the technological challenges posed by this proliferation of communications technology.
With the signing of the Patriot Act in 2001, a new era of intelligence gathering and surveillance had been set in motion.
The American people need to know that we're collecting a lot of information, and we're spending a great deal of time trying to gather as much intelligence as we possibly can, to chase down every lead, to run down every hint, so that we can keep America safe, and it's happening.
Oh yeah?
It's happening.
It was happening, but it was veiled from public view. In San Francisco in the summer of 2002, a technician at AT&T, Mark Klein, was one of the first to witness something.
There was some speculation there's some kind of spying they're doing having to do with the new era of fighting terrorism or something, but nobody knew.
One day, an agent of the National Security Agency showed up to talk to one of Klein's supervisors.
And I happened to answer the door. He comes in, he's wearing a business suit, looking very stern, not smiling at all. That's all I knew about it, and I thought I'd never hear about this ever again.
But later, inside this AT&T facility, Klein noticed something unusual on the 6th floor.
It's room 641A, says on the door, and what's mysterious about it is there's no door handle.
Damn.
So it looks kind of odd.
Klein began to investigate.
I traced the cabling coming out of the room. I could not find direct cabling going from the secret room to the phone switch. The cabling all seemed to go upstairs.
Upstairs on the 7th floor was where AT&T handled internet traffic.
What Mark Klein found was an infrastructure that suggested that the government was copying all traffic going through the AT&T internet backbone.
So yo, this internet shit was always a fucking crime stopping tool. It was always a tool to solve crime, or to just spy on you. You know, to find crime. I didn't watch this whole thing. I only watched the first 10 minutes. When I was saying they talked about social media, I said, yeah, I gotta show people this. But I told y'all a couple days ago, I wanted to show y'all some real gangsters. Cause people say stupid shit when you talk about guys like Durk. Oh, he need to be in jail, and you know, y'all see the comments and see the idiocracy in people. But these motherfuckers are the biggest gangsters in the world, and they get away with their gangster shit.
Klein got hold of engineering drawings that showed the cables he had traced were going to a device called a splitter.
The splitter is basically a glass prism. So you put a cable in there, the light beam goes in there, and it's split like that. One half is going to the secret room, and the other half was going to its normal assigned destination. But it's been copied in the process.
And this was important because if one can split the light or divert the light out of one of those networks, one can copy everyone's traffic on the network. It's kind of an unfathomable amount of information.
The internet chops everything up into little data packets. So there's your email, your web browsing, photos you might be sending. This is a huge dragnet operation. And I was furious, because I never signed up to work for the NSA, but I was in my late 50s and I didn't want to lose my job. So I was stuck, and I was afraid.
Klein was afraid to speak out for several years.
The New York Times broke the story about the National Security Agency spying
But went public after reading a front-page New York Times story about NSA spying in 2005.
No search warrants or court orders were ever.
And when Mark Klein came out and said, I work at AT&T and the NSA is tapping into our network, that was the first time that the American public realized how far things had gone since 9/11, how much domestic surveillance there was. He raised this allegation. No one ever acknowledged that it was actually happening. It still remains an open question, but no one has ever denied it either.
Do you remember the incident in San Francisco where the technician, Mark Klein, had found the room with the splitter?
Vaguely.
What was that about?
I'm not going to talk about that.
Bet you ain't, Nick.
Was it a legal program?
Absolutely legal, yes.
It was. Was it part of warrantless wiretapping?
I don't think so.
Was it under a FISA court order?
I'm not going to get into that. To the best of my knowledge, it's still a classified program, and I'm not here to divulge national security information.
One of the big stories this week, the National Security Agency's collection.
News stories on warrantless wiretapping brought unwanted attention to the telecom companies.
Mr. Whitaker, has AT&T provided customer
Warrantless wiretapping. That's a fucking new one. Warrantless wiretapping, y'all. It's a thing.
information to any law enforcement agency?
I didn't know that.
Senator, we protect the privacy of our customers and we follow the law. And that's all I can say about that.
Are you declining to answer my question, Mr. Whitaker?
We follow the law, Senator.
Does AT&T provide customer information to any law enforcement agency?
We follow the law, Senator.
That is not an answer, Mr. Whitaker.
AT&T, Verizon, and Bell phone companies have seen themselves in a kind of partnership with the government for almost 100 years.
I'm telling you, we don't violate the law. We follow the law.
That's a legal conclusion, Mr.
For almost 70 years, the government guaranteed them a monopoly.
But I'm asking you for a factual matter.
And so they have always been and continue to be faithful handmaidens of the government's will.
If you're under instructions by the federal government as a matter of state secrecy not to talk, say so.
Senator, we follow the law.
Surveillance assistance is now in the structure of these companies. It's something they're very comfortable with. There's no CEO of a telephone company that's losing sleep over the wiretap assistance that they're providing to law enforcement or the intelligence community.
The new internet companies, on the other hand, were less comfortable cooperating with the government.
And see, yo, what y'all gotta realize, yo, this program transitioned into actively putting agents on the internet. So for like when I be people, for some reason, yo, people just can't think that far as to think that's really a thing. Everything evolves over time. So it started off with this. Now we got Whack 100. You feel me? Now we got Charleston White. Now we got these guys that's fucking actively working for the agency, sending people to jail, man. That's what's going on. Adam 22. They working.
But even before the NSA's PRISM program, they too had been complying. One CEO, however, decided to fight back.
In 2004, I got a phone call from
the FBI control the
FBI, and they said that they had a letter for me. And within an hour or two, an agent had come to hand deliver a letter to me.
The FBI handed him a letter. He looked at the letter and it asked for what he describes as a significant array of information from his company. And he noticed that it didn't appear to have been signed by a judge. Didn't appear to be a regular court order.
It was not a warrant. It was not stamped or signed by a court or a judge. It was this letter demanding this information from me. And it also told me that I could never tell anyone that I had gotten the letter. It said I could tell no person.
Damn.
Nick Merrill ran a small web hosting company in New York named Calix.
It was a company that I started in 1994. We hosted Mitsubishi Motors, IKEA, Snapple, Tanqueray, blue chip clients. And we hosted a lot of independent media and nonprofit organizations that seemed like good people that I wanted to help, and that was really where my passion was.
The letter Merrill received was a national security letter, or NSL. After 9/11, The Patriot Act allowed any FBI office in the country to issue NSLs without a court's review and with a gag order.
It said he couldn't tell anyone about this letter at all. And that gag order is part of what made him concerned about going even to a lawyer.
To be honest with you, I was terrified to talk to anyone about it, so I didn't. I didn't call any of my colleagues. I didn't speak to anyone about it. It was clear to me that this was an official and genuine document, but I thought that it was not legal and not constitutional. And so I decided to disobey the commandment.
They've been transitioning the internet. That like this was the internet was the fucking was a police program from the beginning. This talking about 2004. From the beginning, it was designed to be what it is today. Right now, we're just saying that the end of results. Now you're getting all these indictments.
That I couldn't tell anyone, and I called my lawyer.
Merrill enlisted the aid of the American Civil Liberties Union to challenge the letter in court.
I had doubts myself about whether I was doing the right thing, but what gave me confidence was
all of this is about controlling the narrative, y'all. Like I've been told y'all, it's about controlling the narrative. They have to control the narrative. But what wound up happening was when this blogging shit started taking off, more people had a voice. So only way we can combat that, because we can't stop it, is we gotta bring our guys in.
the fact that we offered to give them the information if they would simply get a real warrant, and the fact that they refused to get one.
That same year, the FBI issued 56,000 national security letters. But Merrill was the first person who had challenged a letter on constitutional grounds.
He was an independent operator of an internet company who really cared about privacy and the trust of his users. Most companies are not in that business. Most companies are offering services to large numbers of users and don't really want to deal with some kind of lengthy legal fight.
To litigate is expensive. When you're getting tens of thousands of these letters a year, to litigate any substantial number of them is ruinous. Besides which, the big companies that are receiving these letters have regulatory business before the U.S. government, and they don't want to annoy the authorities.
Until 2013, no major internet or phone company is known to have questioned the constitutionality of a national security letter.
I think that Nick challenged that is fantastic. I would love it if Google had challenged that.
Why didn't they?
I have no clue. No idea. I mean, the number of people at Google who can know about the existence of the letter is arguably like 2 or 3. You know, presumably it's the lawyer who has been designated to receive them. So maybe 2 people at Google would know about it. You look at it on its face, it looks like it relates to national security. So you comply.
Finally, in 2013, Google did challenge 19 NSLs. By that time, the FBI had withdrawn Merrill's national security letter after an appeals court ruled it unconstitutional.
I think that they were afraid that we would make it to the Supreme Court, and they were not 100% certain that they would get the answer that they want.
The FBI dropped its request, but what's interesting is that he's still not able to talk about exactly what they requested, other than that it was information. And he says that if we knew what had been requested, that we would be shocked.
The big internet companies had different priorities. At the same time the government was expanding its intelligence gathering, the companies were trying to find out as much as possible about their users, amassing huge data troves. The NSA was watching.
These companies are in a very difficult spot because the types of activities they engage in is very similar to surveillance. It is surveillance, just for advertising rather than for law enforcement. And the private sector is where the whole game is.
Click on the text and it links.
I remember I was talking to someone at Google and I was like, you mean you keep all that stuff? All those things I searched for? And he said,
Well, yeah.
From the beginning, Google founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin had discovered that web searches were very revealing and very valuable.
Every search is, in some sense, an expression of intention. It's an expression of what you want to do, where you want to go, what you're looking for. And that maps very nicely with the desire of advertisers to target their messages towards people at the moment when they are intending to go buy something.
From a simple search box, Google struck gold.
I think it's the most effective product the internet has ever seen. Google's ads were so effective that all of a sudden their problem was hiding how much money they made so that Microsoft and other competitors didn't come after them.
Page and Brin would make billions, but it was their 2004 launch of Gmail with vastly more storage than Microsoft's Hotmail and Yahoo Mail that immediately sparked controversy for how it mined email content.
They would scan your mail and try to figure out if there was a relevant ad they could show you alongside the mail.
They said, we're going to basically recover our costs and make a profit by showing ads when you send email or when you receive email. And in order to determine what ads to show you, they read your emails.
There was a wave of negative news stories, comments, blog posts, and so forth that came out that day. And the alarm bell was really rung by privacy advocates who said, we cannot allow this to go forward. This is crossing a Rubicon. You cannot scan our emails.
And Google tried to assure them, really, no, it's not people. We're just scanning the mail. Other places scan your mail for spam. So we're really not even doing anything different by that. We're just showing you ads. And a lot of people just felt it was creepy.
If I were to go attach alligator clips to the phone wire, it'd be a felony. I'd go to prison for that. What Gmail proposed was exactly that, a kind of wiretap of all email, looking at the content to pitch advertising in real time.
At Google, Andrew McLaughlin got a phone call.
You notice all them guys push that word hard. Content. It's content. If I can convince you that it's content, I can do what the fuck I want to do. Because it's all content. I mean, it's nothing to see here. It's just content.
Phone call from a staffer for a state senator in California named Liz Figueroa. The staffer said Senator Figueroa is deeply concerned about this practice of targeting ads to email messages. She's very much interested in pursuing legislation that would ban this practice. And could we have a conversation?
We walk into this room, and it's myself and two of my staff, my chief of staff and one of my attorneys. And across from us was Larry, Sergey, and their attorney. All of a sudden, Sergey started talking to me. He said, Senator, how would you feel if a robot went into your home and read your diary and read your financial records, read your love letters, read everything? But before leaving the house, it imploded. And he said, that's not violating privacy. I immediately said, of course it is. Yes, it is. And he said, no, it isn't. Nothing's kept. Nobody knows about it. I said, that robot has read everything. Does that robot know if I'm sad or if I'm feeling fear or what's happening? And he looked at me and he said, oh no, that robot knows a lot more than that.
Believing that Google would never retain the information they collected, Senator Figueroa backed off and amended her bill.
Unbeknownst to me, ultimately they were going to store the information, and that's why they were against it. And I think it was also, we don't want legislators interrupting our business model. They were going to move forward. And the whole tech industry went against the bill.
I believe then, and still do, that Gmail was a privacy disaster. The moment you allow people to look at the content of your communication for some advertising purpose, is the moment that the government is going to come along and say, if you're going to let them listen in for advertising, why don't you let us listen in for anti-terrorism or for serious crimes? It becomes very difficult for courts to say that the private sector can listen in, but the government can't.
In fact, much more listening and looking was about to happen.
How big an impact has Facebook had on our lives?
It's huge. 500 million users. I mean, in terms of sheer volume, this is remarkable.
My friends at the FBI say that they love Facebook. They love it. It is a fantastic tool to see who one communicates and associates with, what they're interested in, etc.
Facebook realized that with the allure of a social network, people were willing to tell them just about everything about themselves.
Advertisers are willing to pay for information about people, and Facebook has so much data about its members. So they got into this personal data business, collecting information about you and allowing advertisers to access it in order to sell you targeted ads.
With millions of people posting on Facebook, the executives at Google became worried.
There was a deep sense of anxiety inside Google that Facebook was nailing a new kind of interaction that Google was proving to be very clunky at doing.
And I suspect that they thought, well, shoot, Facebook has something better to sell to advertisers. We need to boost our data trove too. And I think what happens is that it's a race to build the best database.
So it begins what you might call the data wars. The idea that to really win in this game, you need to have the most data possible.
To muster more firepower, Google had bought a leading internet advertising company.
The DoubleClick acquisition consolidated the fact that Google was an advertising company.
They really became the most powerful company in the internet ad world after that. One Google executive told me that they made a staggering, that was his word, amount of money from tracking where you'd been on the web.
DoubleClick had pioneered and refined the tracking of people's web browsing.
When you go to a website, the website has the opportunity to drop a little file onto your computer called a cookie. It's basically a tracking number. It's just an ID number attached to you. And anytime you go to another website that sees that ID number,
that's why I asked you to accept
they know,
all cookies.
oh, it's that same person.
So a cookie is a unique identifier set by
So that's
any
what that
website
mean, y'all.
that your computer interacts with. And to be clear,
I ain't
it doesn't have to
accepting
be
no
the
more
website that
cookies.
you're visiting. You visit any given site and your computer will interact with dozens, if not hundreds of servers run by different companies.
Today, all the big internet companies use advanced tracking technology, and the NSA has carefully studied their methods. For them, commercial tracking is an opportunity.
Take care of our customers with an iron flush. Breath or mouth infection.
The NSA sees all this data that's flowing through these advertisers.
Costs much less.
And they're thinking, look at all this data about people's behavior that's just flying out there to hundreds of different parties and oftentimes not encrypted. And so they can just snatch it.
At the Washington Post, Bart Gellman was going through his Snowden files. Thousands upon thousands of them, unpacking highly technical terms, engineering jargon, and computer code. Then one day he came across this slide. At first, he couldn't understand it. He consulted with his colleague, internet security expert Ashkan Soltani.
This slide indicated the use of a specific Google cookie. It's called a pref cookie that's set by Google. Even if you've never been on google.com, in fact, when you turned on your computer and opened the browser, you were likely to get one of these cookies.
And we found out that the NSA was piggybacking on that. I mean, of course, if you're an NSA collections manager and you want to know, how do I figure out, where Bart was, or whether he's changed devices, or all this other kind of information about him, why don't I just go and get that information that conveniently has been collected for me by Silicon Valley companies who do it for their own commercial motives?
Because Google's using a tracking cookie, the NSA can sit back and see all that stuff go by. They can monitor all of that activity, all those cookies, and use it in order to track your browsing activity or inject malware into your computer. And if they sent you malware, it would take over your computer and essentially let them access all your data, all your keystrokes, all your passwords, etc.
Before publishing, The reporters called Google for comment.
And Google pushed back very hard. They said, you should not be associating our commercial ad cookie technology with U.S. government surveillance. And Ashkan said, we can prove it. We can prove that they're using this, that the NSA is piggybacking on your technology.
And I had their own material indicating how it's used to track people and how it's an identifier. So we were going back and forth, and the Google person was insisting that this is not a tracking cookie. And I said, look, here's some links. This is your own video on YouTube that you made in 2007 about this cookie and how it's an identifier.
Cookies remind us of your preferences from the last time you visited.
As the article went to press, Google emailed an editor at the newspaper, claiming that Soltani had received funds from a foundation known for supporting privacy projects. Soltani says he never received the alleged funding.
It was a personal hit on me, and that really surprised me that they would go after me personally. And so my editor talked to Google and said, is anything technically wrong with the story? And the person said, no, in fact, it was very technically accurate.
The article had revealed the privacy risks associated with advertising. Frontline asked Google for an interview, but they declined. All of the major internet companies we called in the course of reporting this program refused to participate.
Google, Apple, Twitter, Yahoo, Facebook, just some of the names represented over at the White House.
On December 17th, 2013, executives from Silicon Valley went to the White House.
Some of the country's top tech companies speaking with the...
They had been called in to advise the president on how to fix the administration's troubled healthcare website.
That meeting was supposed to be mainly about healthcare.gov, but the tech officials refused to go along with that agenda, and they made the NSA stuff the number one subject there. And they, expressed pretty clearly how unhappy they were with the position that they'd been put in.
They raised strong objections with President Obama. The heads and general counsels of major Silicon Valley companies tell the president that what he's authorized and what the NSA is doing huge damage to their global markets.
All of them deeply concerned with what the NSA has been doing.
We make a tremendous amount of money providing technology and online services, advertising, everything else to people around the world. And all of that goes away if people no longer trust the American government and the companies that are subject to its authority.
It was another devastating blow for the NSA. Today's report...
The next day, the panel the president had appointed to review NSA policies and programs issued its report.
Said those programs are important in the fight against terror.
It found that some programs, like PRISM, had played an important role in preventing terrorist attacks. But it was sharply critical of bulk data collection, dragnet surveillance, and the use of national security levers.
Danger of abuse. Does not make the country.
It concluded that the NSA was overreaching and that American civil liberties were at risk.
We say in the report, our concern is about what happens after the next 9/11. In that moment of national panic, after a traumatic attack on the United States, will we again throw out civil liberties? Will we again empower the government to erode a little bit of the Constitution? As long as the government has spent taxpayers' money and built up this huge technical collection infrastructure that could be abused at a time after some other tragedy, we've got to be damn sure, since we've built this thing, that it can't be used
real gangsters of America
against us.
Showing how the NSA
Over the last few months, there have been more reports
as a popular game, Angry Birds,
about potential surveillance of smartphone apps and webcam images and hundreds of millions of text messages. How the NSA is capable of recording all of a foreign country's phone calls and is racing to build a computer that can defeat most kinds of encryption.
Could allow the NSA to map out a person's life.
Look, let me give you the existential complaint of the American intelligence community. Okay? Here's how it works, living inside America's liberal democracy, of which, by the way, the intel guys are really a part. Okay? American political elites feel very empowered to criticize the American intelligence community for not doing enough when they feel in danger.
And as soon as we've made them feel safe again, they feel equally empowered to complain that we're doing too much.
In late December 2013, Bart Gellman flew to Moscow. Snowden had agreed to meet.
I went to a hotel that it was arranged in advance. I got a phone call. He gave me a place to meet within a certain time period, and he showed up. He met me, shook my hand, said almost nothing, and led me away, and we moved to a place that he considered secure.
Gellman interviewed Snowden for 14 hours over 2 days.
I asked him the hard questions about being in Moscow, or about whether he thought any of these stories were doing damage, or, you know, all the other things that people want to know when they're thinking about his conduct. And I found a guy who was almost Zen-like in his serenity and his comfort with what he had done, that he had consciously decided he was willing to take huge risks to provoke a public debate. And he provoked a public debate that no one could possibly have foreseen.
That's a fundamentally dangerous thing to democracy.
Surveillance that the president himself said was urgent.
Well, that's
why
what
would you
can't have 100% security, and also then have 100% privacy.
We take our role really seriously. I think it's my job to protect everyone who uses Facebook and all the information that they share with us.
So where we are now is in a place where we're living behind one-way mirrors. Corporate America and law enforcement and national security state know so much about us. And we know so little about them. We know so little about what they're doing, how they're doing it. And we can't actually hold our government accountable because we truly don't know what it's doing.
It's a dirty game out here, boy. I'm trying to tell you. It's a dirty motherfucking game.
Contractor working for private companies, but at a government desk in government facilities using government things for the right reasons. There is a culture that sort of pervades the upper levels of government, the senior officials, political appointees, that have basically become less accountable to the public that they serve. And because of that, we see that politics and policies irrevocably, sort of irresistibly, they gravitate towards the prerogatives of individuals, of these officials, of an elected and unelected class of bureaucrats that can sort of degrade the quality of government that we as individuals enjoy. So as I went through my time in the classified world, the intelligence community, as we call it, and I moved from the Central Intelligence Agency to the National Security Agency. I worked on both the public sides and the private sides as a contractor working for private companies, but at a government desk in government facilities using government equipment and working on government programs and taking tasking from government employees. I gained an increasingly concerning understanding of what happens on the broad scale, what the results of all these individual decisions are. And that's generally that when decisions are made in the dark, the quality of those decisions is reduced. Now, that's not to say that we need to know every decision that the government makes, who's under investigation, what this particular program does, but we do have to have a general understanding of the policies and the powers broadly that a government claims if it's going to be using them in our name, as well as being using them
I had to get that on record, yo, because people think this shit a game. You know what I mean? Like, yo, this shit ain't no game, yo. The things that's going on this internet right now, yo, this shit is disgusting. Yo, we ain't never seen this many indictments. I'm talking about, yo, they is knocking people off left and fucking right. Damn near solely because of the internet. Solely because of the internet, man. Knocking motherfuckers off. You heard me. Meanwhile, they paint them out as criminals, but they doing even dirtier shit. You have to watch the movie to see how they tried to kill y'all several times. You know what I mean? I couldn't find it on YouTube, but it's a movie. It's called Snowden, and it details how they tried to assassinate y'all.
And ultimately, toward the end of my tenure at the NSA, I discovered that there were programs of mass surveillance that were happening beyond any possible statutory authority, because these things were constitutionally prohibited. And I saw that these were things that never should have happened. They were initially authorized in the Bush administration, and that administration actually was fully aware in their own classified opinions in the Inspector General's report that those programs had no statutory basis. And so we saw developments where they were trying to authorize these under the president's powers. You know, they're using Article 2 powers, where basically the president says, we're at war, I can do basically whatever I want. Now, that may sound like a great idea and be an important power in times of total war, in times of existential threat. But we don't have U-boats in the harbor. We don't have, foreign armies marching on American soil. We haven't seen total war policies in the United States since World War II. And so we have to ask, why were these decisions being made? Why was the public not allowed to participate in the debate? And why is it that even within the separate branches of government, officials were not aware of this? Within the executive branch, in the intelligence community, many of my coworkers who also had top secret clearances, high-level accesses, were unaware that these things were going on. The vast majority of Congress had no idea that these programs had been instituted or were being maintained. Even those on the intelligence community, intelligence committees in both the Senate and the House were not fully briefed. Only the Gang of 8, that'd be the chairs, the ranking members, and then the majority and minority leaders from both houses are briefed on so-called covert action programs, things like that, exceptionally compartmented programs. And the courts had increasingly, in the wake of the post 9/11 period, become reluctant to scrutinize any decisions or programs that were constitutionally questionable, saying that they lacked the expertise or the positioning, or what it ultimately boiled down to was the political willingness to confront difficult questions to which there may or may not be right answers once they're right and wrong. So this led me to stand up and say something about it. And I worked with American journalists and American news outlets to make sure that the public had an ability to make decisions about where the lines of this program should be drawn. Many people are familiar with the story since then. It's still ongoing. The reporting continues. But the ultimate basis are that many people consider the last year's surveillance of unconstitutional activity at the NSA and so on and so forth to be ultimately about surveillance and mass surveillance. And that is a critical issue, and it's the one with which I'm most familiar, and I saw the greatest wrongdoing. However, it's important to be aware that the reality that mass surveillance illustrates is that we have agencies that are working on their own authorities, they're working on their own sort of institutional momentum to implement programs without oversight, creating these things behind closed doors without the awareness of the public, that are actually changing the boundaries of the rights that we enjoy as free people in a free society. We have lost, in many ways, the freedom to associate without judgment in the United States because of the metadata program. That's really an associational tracking program. When we have everyone's call records, we know who everyone's friends are. We know who they contact. We know what they do. We know when they travel. We know where they go. We know how long they're there. There are speech implications to this. There are obviously privacy implications to this. And there is a very strong argument to be made that even if we as a society believe that these powers and authorities would be valuable, that we could not institute them through statute regardless, that they simply would be unconstitutional in any form, absent an amendment. And we see this happening and being upheld even through international laws decisions very recently. 2 or 3 days ago, the United Nations Special Rapporteur on Countering Terrorism and Protecting Human Rights delivered a report that had been in the works for, I believe, several years that found that mass surveillance programs violate the obligations of states that the United States and the United Kingdom and many of our other allies have agreed to under the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, the ICCPR. As well as, and this wasn't mentioned specifically, but the very same right that he was highlighting in this report was an obligation we had agreed to under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, some 50 odd years back. And that's Article 12, and that's that we all have a right to privacy, to be free from unjustified, unreasonable intrusions into our lives. And we have this, of course, under our Fourth Amendment. So when it came to my story and how I came forward, it was not that I saw a particular program and I had an axe to grind. It was that broadly I was witness to massive violations of our Constitution, that they were happening in secret, and that they were happening as a result of a broad breakdown throughout the branches of government. And this is the key. Because when there's a problem in a single agency, when there's a problem in a single branch, we tend to be self-correcting. That's what checks and balances are for. But the question of whistleblowing, of when to stand up, is really one of, do those checks and balances still function? Can you report these issues within a system, to a certain branch, to a certain organization, to a certain office, and actually see those abuses and those policies corrected? And in this case, they were not. We saw that both the courts, Congress, and the executive had all failed in different portions of these programs and protecting our rights. And I think we'll cover that in a little more detail later. But did that answer your question?
So what's striking about the position you've described, both here and also in the interviews that you've given, is how relatively limited it is for its justification of stepping forth with this kind of civil disobedience. I mean, in particular, you've said that the problem you had with what in fact happened is primarily the problem of democratic accountability. You said, quote, "It's not my role to make that choice, the choice whether the NSA engages in those activities or not. Instead, it's for the American people, quote, I don't intend to destroy those systems, but to allow the public to decide whether they should go on." So the key that you're emphasizing is that we had a process, we had a system of government that wasn't allowing the public to even know about the issues that the NSA was engaging in. And that's the primary justification you have for stepping forward and obviously violating the law in order to make it public.
Right. Ultimately, it comes down to a question of, people argue about what is a whistleblower. I tried to raise my concerns internally. They got nowhere. Other individuals who had done the same thing, whether they're Thomas Drake, Bill Binney, Kirk Wiebe, Ed Loomis, Diane Rourke, who even went to Congress, all of these individuals raised similar concerns, and yet the issues were not corrected, were not addressed. And that's, again, because of the overclassification issues that have been described in the way that these processes have inevitably become more cumbersome and less effective over time, to the point where they're eventually broken. I think the ultimate mark of a whistleblower is, when it comes to motivations, are they standing up to change something directly, to sort of have a partisan effect, sort of the deep throat thing where they're trying to get their boss fired so they can move into the next job. That's not whistleblowing, I think, under anyone's definition. But really, it comes down to, when I stepped up, it was not to dictate outcomes. And I think that's ultimately the mark there. It's about allowing the public a chance to participate in democratic processes in order to play their part in determining the outcome. The reality is, since we saw the birth of sort of this unitary executive theory in the White House and throughout American governance, the public has lost their seat at the table of government. We're being increasingly left out of critical discussions about the policies and the direction that we want to steer our society toward. They're being made in our name without our awareness and without our consent. But in a democratic republic, the government draws its legitimacy from the consent of the people. And everybody who's involved in any kind of research knows that, consent is not meaningful if it's not informed. And that's what was lacking. So when I think about the question of, how do you find the line, the point of justification by which you can stand up, go to the press, and this is another key distinction, is I didn't publish any of these materials. I've never published a single story on the NSA myself, because everyone has biases, right? And even though I have an expert understanding of these programs, I've worked with them personally, I know the authorities they operate under, how they're used. Again, I had the ability to look at anybody's email that was being ingested under these programs, whether that was intercepted domestically or overseas. I had the authority to look at both. But I didn't try to push my agenda onto the public, because I don't think that would be proper. And I think many other whistleblowers do the same thing. That's why we go to the press. The press is a critical part of American society. It's a part of our constitutional system. That's why we have the First Amendment. And it's really not the role of an individual such as myself to say what the public should or should not know. But by working in partnership with the free press, we can allow institutions that exist to make these sort of determinations to then sit down with the government, present their evidence for why this is in the public interest. The government can make a counter case and say why this may cause some harm, that they've been missed or misunderstood, or the value of these programs misinterpreted by the journalists. And ultimately, we can get a decision from there. And there's a kind of accountability.
I just wanted to show y'all some gangster shit, man. Now we can go to some shit that people want to hear. Karen Capone did an interview with Boosie. Asked Boosie about getting shot. Shit, it's crazy.
Okay, so
Straight up, man. Appreciate it, Noble forever. YouTube been fucking with our channel lately. I don't know if y'all noticed how they did it, how they been doing the numbers. More than likely, they ain't sending out notifications.
I seen you tweet about Mo3 recently.
Yeah.
One of the hardest to do it, man.
Yeah.
Can you kind of talk about your guys' relationship and how'd you guys link up and everything?
Me and Mo3 linked up like when I came home from prison. I was his favorite rapper. I went and did a show in Dallas. And it was like Boosie was doing a show in Dallas. Every word. And I knew right then that he was special. And after that, we just kind of became friends, bro. I was speaking highly of him. Everybody thought he was signed to me because I was showing him so much love, because I know talent. I know greatness, bro. Like, he can do it all, bro. Like, sing, rap. I miss him, bro. I miss him. We put out a classic album together. I'm grateful we had the time to do that. But Mo3 was special, bro. They took a real talent, bro. Mo3 would be so damn big right now. Man, sky's the limit. If Mo3 was here right now, Mo3.
If Mo3 was here right now, Mo3 would be in jail. That's where the fuck Mo3 would be at. He was doing way too much self-snitching in his music. Now, if he would have stopped the self-snitching, yeah, he'd have been big. Because Shorty definitely was talented. But at that current pace he was going, if he ain't get killed, he'd have went right to prison, like King Von. I mean, not saying him and King Von on the same level, but they both was rapping about crimes they committed.
3 would have $50 million easy, bro. Like, he would be a big shot, bro. Cause you couldn't deny his talent, bro. Like, yeah, he got a gift, bro. He had a gift. It's just, I told him, bro. I told him. The fuck out that city, bro. I told him. Bro, you know. I told him.
When I interviewed him,
yeah,
he said you were the only artist that could compare to Tupac. What do you think about all the rappers that compare themselves to Tupac?
Boosie the only one can say it. The only one can compare himself.
Boosie's the only one?
He the only one that can compare himself to Tupac.
Yeah.
You spoke real highly of him, man.
Yeah.
You know, he was a cool dude. You know, the interview we did was dope.
Yeah,
dope
no, he
interview.
would have went straight to jail.
Song for song, bro. Nobody really can touch me on for a catalog. Mixtapes, album. It's similar to Pac, bro. Like, you know, Pac just ain't have time to do it, but I'm the closest thing, bro, as far as music. You don't have to fast forward. Every song you would listen to, like, nobody's with me really with a catalog like mine, bro. Like, telling you, bro, like, I don't get my flowers I should get, but the real ones, they give me my flowers, bro. The people who I raised, and they give me my flowers, you know. Just a lot of them gone, bro. Mo3, Trouble, you know, a lot of them gone.
Why don't you think you get the flowers you deserve?
I don't know. They probably think I'm going to throw it back in their face.
If they do something that Boosie don't like.
King Von, man.
But I don't know, man. You know, there's a lot of people say you don't get your flowers till you can't smell them no more.
See,
you know, a lot of people become
Von,
great when they
it was the realism. King Von was real, and you knew it. Like, he wasn't one of them rappers that you had to question. Like, you knew Shorty was real about how vivid his story was. You know what I mean? When he talked about, and what separated King Von from a lot of these other drill rappers is King Von talked about prison. You don't hear drill rappers talk about prison. That's why these young boys crashing out and doing all this dumbass shit, because prison is not a part of drill rap. So that's why I always respected what King Von did, because he gave you both sides. He gave you the gangster shit, and then he gave you the results of the gangster shit. And that's what you got to do. If you're going to talk that shit, you got to give them both sides. You can't just tell one part of the story, man.
A lot of people don't see the big picture until you out the picture. You know, and I give my own self my flowers. You know, I give my own self my flowers, you know. Saying that to say, you know, I just look, you know, like,
nah,
nigga, y'all can't, nigga ain't with me.
Boosie music was too
like,
detrimental to be compared to Pac. Now, he do got some songs
bro,
that hit,
I
though.
know it, and can't
Like
nobody
Pac
take
do.
that away from me. I don't care what they say, what I say. My music is undeniable. I mean, I feel I'm, you know,
You see
definitely
that?
top 5.
You see how that read?
Well, when you went back there after he passed away, you went over there and you got shot.
Yeah.
You know, and I guess you just woke up in the hospital? What all, you know, you were just there, man, just to, you know, kind of celebrate Mo3. And you ended up
Yep,
getting
I
shot.
just was going to pay my respects. You know, pay my respects because that was my real friend, and and then get shot. When you get shot, you don't talk about it. You just wake up in the hospital. The wind shot me. It was windy that day. It was in November.
Well, how bad was the shot? Because I believe I seen that you had a few complications with it going forward.
Yeah, I mean, still got iron in my leg, bro.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
It blew my kneecap out.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
With the big bullet, then I take it. Probably
45.
Damn. Is that your only time ever being shot?
Yeah. I've been shot at like 7 times, but that's my only time being hit. Yeah.
Were there any of those times where you thought like, damn, this is over?
Oh, it was God every time, bro. I got sprayed one time coming from my baby mama house. I think I was like 18 then. They pulled right on side the car and Swiss cheese that mother. The bullet straight through the window. The bullet straight through the window, bro. Like on my side, straight through the window. I don't remember. I mean, and I didn't get hit. Another time, nigga caught me on the interstate. Swiss cheese the whole car. Ain't no bullet touching me.
Damn, that's crazy. Like all them bullets, like
4 people in the car,
bullets.
nobody got hit.
4 people in the car.
Yeah, the first time 3 people in the car, nobody got hit.
Damn.
God, man.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a lot of bullets for nobody to get hit, man. Wow, that's crazy.
Glass in my mouth, everything.
Damn. Yeah. I came across this video, this viral story, and you did a feature with the guy. I believe his name was D.A., and he had a Boosie impersonator in the music video?
I think so. In Minneapolis somewhere?
I'm not sure of the place.
Oh, nah. It was on social media?
Yeah. The clip of it went viral.
Nah, I don't know what that was, bro.
Did you see it?
Let me see it. I think I saw it. I think it was on the blogs. That's me rapping and I'm thinking it's some dude under me.
Right.
Yeah. With a flat top like my shit. I think I saw it.
Yeah, the dude, they tried to have a Boosie fade going on. There it is.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
So what happened with that? They didn't.
I don't know, man. I mean, I saw it just like you. Actually, I mean, that's a song I did. I don't know if I did it with that dude, and he put that under there. I don't know if it was just some shit they put together to go viral, but I had no idea of it at all. I mean.
They never reached out to you to do a music video or nothing?
Nah.
Damn. And do you remember doing the song?
I remember the verse, but it was at a time when I was doing all these verses. I had a special going or whatever. I don't remember the artist I did it with. I just knew that was me rapping, and that wasn't me on the video. I was like, these motherfuckers going too far. It was funny when I saw it, though.
They didn't have the money to get Boosie to do the video. That's what it looked like to me.
I don't know, bro. Like, they knew that shit wouldn't go slide. How can you think somebody gonna think that's Boosie? Like, get the out of here, bro. Like, get the out of here.
Yeah, that was crazy, man. What's up? This is Cam.
Gotta get these goddamn kids. Oh, goodness. But yeah, Young Thug, man. Hope he make out. He better pay the judge. I mean, slide the judge a motherfucking 100. A 100 piece. Probably gotta get Brian Steele some more money. Ultimately, if he gotta learn from that situation, don't put himself in that situation again. It might give him a chance. Sometimes they give you a chance. Sometimes they don't. Yeah, man. It depends on how they feel. You heard me. Oh my God. What's up, Benji? What's up, Hendrix? No, Thug ain't locked up, but Thug, I think Thug go to court Monday or Tuesday. When you tell me, when you tell me y'all Thug go to court, Tuesday or Wednesday? Yeah, them trolls be out of control, y'all. I don't be having nothing better to do with that motherfucking life. Control and say dumbass shit. But yeah, I wanted to show y'all that Julian Assange and Edward Snowden, and showed y'all how they turned the internet into a motherfucking federal program early on. I ain't know they did it early on. I thought they did that shit I thought they started that shit like 2019. But fuck no. They started that shit early on. The minute they decided the internet was the route that they wanted to go, they say, man, look, we gotta put our people in. We gonna turn this shit into a motherfucking crime fighting tool. That's what the fuck they did. Turned this shit to a crime fighting tool. And now we seeing the motherfucking fruits of the labor. Indictments on the black community. Yeah, man, cause that's like the only ones getting the indictments on the black community. That's why I be telling y'all, like, yo, when the fuck has the federal government ever been in front of the black community? Ever. They never been, man. It's always been to seek and destroy. You know what I mean? Infiltrate. Are we still live? Nah, they ain't come at the Durk until Durk changed the narrative. I kinda agree with his father when it come down to that. The minute Durk changed the narrative and wasn't pushing that gangster shit, well, he still was pushing gangster shit, but he was also trying to bring peace. Man, they said, oh, nah. Time to get him. You know what I mean? Time to get him. Hey, yo, we still live. Yo, collectively, they've been ending my lives. I know y'all probably noticed that. Out of the last 3 lives I did before this one, YouTube ended them bitches. Oh, all right, we good. Oh, all right, bet. Yeah, I don't have no problem with sliding for wrong. Like, see, and that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, it's the American way. Retaliation is the American way. They do this shit all the time. Look what they did to Bin Laden, Saddam Hussein. Hey, man, they get back. They get retribution. That's how this country is built on retribution, man. But when somebody else do it, now it's a crime. Now you gotta get life in prison. Just because this shit government sanctioned. And a lot of times, shit, when we find out that shit don't be government sanctioned. These motherfuckers be rogue operatives. You know what I mean? They be doing shit on their own. That shit don't be sanctioned by no motherfucking government. We just learned that today. Ain't none of that shit they did was sanctioned. That's some shit they just did on their own. They ain't go through the proper channels. They ain't go through the court systems. And then they don't even want to talk about it. They get caught red-handed, all they gonna do is say, I don't want to talk about it. Nobody goes to jail. Nobody goes to prison. That's why, this is a hypocritical system. Hypocritical. Like Big U, yeah, what Big U did was fucked up. If he was out there extorting people. But nigga, he ain't do that shit nearly on the capacity of motherfucking United States government. Shit, we done funded a whole war. We went over there in Nicaragua and took their drugs and put this shit in the black community. Nobody got in trouble for that. How many people died because of the crack epidemic? 3 murders and overdoses and shit like that. Nobody gets in trouble. But Big U, and now he facing life, and now he facing life in prison. You know what I mean? You wanna let me go? Better let me go. Yeah, now he facing life in prison. Or Durk retaliated for some shit that, you know, some street shit. Now he facing life in prison. But we went over there in motherfucking Benghazi and bombed innocent people. And nobody got in trouble for it. Well, Big U don't got that much life to live. That's the good thing about his situation. If they give him life, it's only his last years. Durk still got a long life to live. And it looked like them boys folding on him. A lot of them dudes. Hey, Alvin, did you look and see where, did you type in Vonnie's name in the BOP lately? See if they got some type of contact on him? The last time we checked, he said he wasn't even in BOP custody. I'm just saying, yo, we got a two-sided system, man. And it's predatory against a certain demographic, a certain group of people. Meanwhile, they doing shit way worse. Way worse. You see how they was gonna do it, Julian Assange? They was gonna fucking ram his fucking car. They was gonna shoot the plane out the sky. Shoot the wheels of the plane. What if that bitch would have crashed? All them innocent people on that bitch. It's the thing that they was really planning on doing. I'm just saying, yo, when we look at these situations, yo, we gotta provide context. You know, you gotta put it in context of what's really going on. If it's wrong, it's wrong. You know what I mean? Why is this wrong when we do it? Or, you know what I mean, when the people do it? But they do it, the shit ain't wrong. And they do this shit on a much larger scale. Much larger scale. Yeah, the internet was too. Now I realize it. The internet was too. Like I told y'all, man, like I don't know why people think I just be talking. Yo, whenever it's a new form of entertainment or a new form of monetization, yo, they gotta get their people in. Cause they gotta control the narrative, man. The narrative is important, y'all. Can you imagine if they lost control? If the average Joe voice was loud, like louder than theirs, so loud it can drown their voice out, and that person can give their point of views on situations, and people listen, and they can't have that. Fuck no, what the hell no, we can't do that. Fuck no, we gotta bring our guys in. So if they gonna listen to anybody, they gonna listen to us, because that's how important it is. You know, especially when it comes down to the black community. You heard what they said. They said there'd never be another black Messiah. Only time they gonna have a spokesman is if we give them to them. Man, they mean that shit. They stood by that. That ain't changed. Like I just think people don't be understanding that. You know, people don't be understanding history. Y'all think they changed that? Y'all think over the years they built a different perception on that? Man, fuck no. Shit probably got worse. They gave us Umar Johnson. Fuck he. What's up, gang? Bonnie's not in custody. Nobody speaking. Dang. That's fucked up. That's fucked up, man. So basically what they trying to say is there was DD, Boogie, and Durk. Put the whole play together, huh? They don't even want to steal in custody. You said Flagger and Brown Eyes not in custody either, right? You look them up? But they hiding them boys? They probably in custody just off the record. Off the record in custody. Yeah. And then we talked about Yellow Beezy. Yo, Yellow Beezy ain't do that, man. That's fucked up. They dragged that man into that situation, made him kick out all that bread. Gonna make him pay for a lawyer. But I think Yellow Beezy case fuck around get dropped at the preliminary. It should probably be dropped in like 30 days. They ain't got no case on Yellow Beezy. Yellow Beezy ain't had nothing to do with that shit. But that's what you get for clout chasing. You clout chase that situation. When you should have announced vehemently, I ain't got nothing to do with that shit. I don't know what your had going on. What your had going on? Because you gotta think if Yellow Bees had something to do with it, it wouldn't have took 5 years to lock him up. Wouldn't have took 5 years. It don't take 5 years to get bank records. Damn. Hey, Rob, what you talking about? What the fuck y'all talking about? Who got robbed? It's just a dirty system, yo. I just be trying to get people to understand that shit, so people think I just be tripping. I just be talking when I be calling these niggas Asians. Oh, Yellow Beezy. Yeah, Yellow Beezy was tripping. I was walking tripping too. So I was walking had nothing to do with that shit, man. They found that boy in an abandoned mall. No, he ain't walking that bitch. He probably went to go get the payment and they smoked his ass. No, you done fucked up the mission, bro. You got caught. Can't risk you telling. You know what I mean? Cause that's what them young niggas do. They all telling. Young niggas ain't. Young boys ain't going to jail. They ain't going to prison. They ratting. Immediately. You know what I mean? They pulling a 6'9". Charleston White. Snitch ass. Charleston White's a snitch, bitch. Yeah. Snitch ass nigga. Yo, got that man 99 years, man. That shit crazy. Got that boy 99 years. Yo, we going live. I'm off the day too, y'all. So we going live at 11. Probably before then. I want to tap into Tay K case. Cause I don't like what's going on with Tay K, man. God damn, he already got 50 years, man. Just, what the fuck more do you want? Boy, he got 50. You want to give him life plus 50? Like, god damn. I don't see what more they want from him. System grimy as a bitch. You already know that. It's a dirty system, man. But yeah, we gotta tap into TK case. See what's going on. I wonder if it's live stream. Tired for real, y'all. Wonder if it's live stream. It's fucking hot. To be honest. Fucking 73 degrees. That's hot as shit. Damn. Shit. Motherfucking hot. It's like 70-something degrees out this bitch. It don't look like it. Cause the sun ain't shining. It's fucking hot as a bitch. It is. It's ignorance. Lack of knowledge. They sold us the street shit. And then they exploit our ignorance. So when you exploit ignorance in a way that seems fun, or you're gonna get more people willing to indulge in it. Even though you make it look like this is the way of life. This is what you're supposed to do. This is, drug. You know what I mean? Y'all start drinking at 14, 15 years old. I look at my kids. My son 14 now. My nephew's 16. I be looking at them like, damn. What the fuck was I thinking? You know what I mean? Like when you realize how young they is, then I think about me at that age. And we was fighting, partying, drinking, smoking, and we was doing probably everything under the fucking sun at that age. All these kids do is play Roblox. Go jump on the trampoline. It's be like, damn, yo. Motherfucker was living fast as a bitch. But that's the thing, yo. That's what they say. You live fast, die young. They make it seem cool. But you don't want to live fast and die young. I mean, that's not the goal. The goal is not to live fast and die young. But that's what they put that in music. I mean, they put that shit in music. Yeah, I can't drink no more though. I caught pancreatitis at 25. Haven't drunk since for real. Yeah, I don't drink it all either Sunday. But that's what it is, bro. That's what I'm saying. A lot of us, we were sold this idea of living fast. You know what I mean? They sold that shit to us heavy. Live fast, live fast. Oh, man. Take your time. You know what I mean? You take your time, you get more time. You live fast, time run out. So I be telling people, say, as long as you out here living on the streets, you got time. Man. Ain't no rush to nothing. You rush, you gonna make a mistake, and how shit be set up. There ain't no telling what that mistake gonna look like, or what's gonna be the consequences of that mistake. That shit might cost you everything. It might cost you your life, your family, your kids. Hey, man. Especially when you start getting older. Shit, I be 40. I'll be 40 this year. I gotta get this shit in order. Hey, man. It's just so crazy, right? Because you spend so many years chasing the streets. Then once you finally give up on that shit and say, man, fuck that shit, you realize, like, damn, what the fuck? Wasted all that time doing that shit, man. That shit was stupid. That's how I be trying to get these kids to understand. Like, man, you waste your time with this street shit if you want. You're gonna be 35 still trying to figure out life. You know what I mean? You're gonna be 35 with a work history of 2 jobs. Like, man, fuck out of here, man. You better build a history. By the time you get 35, you can own something. I mean, own a business, own something, own a house. At least have something that you can call yours. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was. Come on, yo. Why would you... This nigga be killing me, yo. Like that. Why you gonna tell... I told you stop texting me so late. You're gonna touch me at 2:15. Man, hell yeah, man. I know, man. I got so many dead friends. It's fucking ridiculous. Dead friends and associates. Man, shit. I couldn't even tell you how many people. I forget most. If I wasn't super extremely close to them, I wouldn't even remember. Especially coming up in certain cities where death is prevalent. I've been losing friends since I was 16. The first time I seen somebody dead in the street, I think I was like elementary school. I think I was in elementary school. But the goal and the object is the, you know, that's why I don't want to move back to Baltimore, you know, because my kids is in a better environment. You know, that's the goal. The goal is that once whatever you go through, you don't want to reflect that back on your children. Like I said, these niggas is way different than me. Like, way different. Like, shit crazy. Like, so he want to walk. Yeah, but it's hard to stop it, yo. We ain't got no spokesman. You know, the people that can, you know, they can give the information don't got the loudest voices. That's why they put them fuckboys at the top. That's why I've been telling y'all. The people that can really talk it and really deliver it, they ain't got the voice. And that's by design. They don't want them to have the voice. You know what I mean? They rather give you Charleston White, who was a fucking walking hypocrite. Dr. Umar Johnson, who you find out years later, he ain't been the father of none of his kids. I mean, niggas be walking hypocrite because you can't just talk it, you gotta live it. You know what I mean? Like nobody, like I know with me, I don't want to hear from a nigga just talking. Like if you just talking that shit and you ain't living it, then what the fuck can you tell me? I want to hear that shit, nigga. Take care of your kids, bitch, nigga. Fuck you just talking for? Yeah, I don't be liking that. Charleston White sold us this idea that he was this community activist and then got on the internet and started playing games. And nigga, you was playing games in the community too, nigga. Come on to your punk ass, nigga. Got my clothes on from work. Tired of shit. I'm home and straight to fucking sleep. Keep on sipping. Yeah, straight up. Straight up. But it's just about getting information out there, man. Like kids is being misled. Like I told y'all, they running a serious play on a black woman right now. Serious play. I think that's the biggest issue right now, to be honest. The play that's being ran on black women right now is what's affecting the kids. But nobody want to talk about that, though. You know, people don't want to have that conversation. I think I'm the only one that has that conversation. We need that conversation on a platform that got 5 million views. Yeah, man. Want one of them motherfuckers that got all these views or subscribers, they want to have that conversation on it. What the fuck is the play that they running on black women? Tricking these women. I just watched the girl. The fuck that bitch name is. Aisha Curry, little baby mother. Talking about it, it's no problem. I mean, you know, I just happen to attract wealthy guys, you know, because my body is nice and, you know, like, bitch, you talk about your body is nice. Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck do you know? Are you smart? The nigga, you had a baby with a nigga that don't even want to deal with you. Like, I ain't never heard no shit like that. Fucking ass was this, yo. I don't even respect that shit for real. Like, nigga, yo, regardless, bro. You had that. You got pregnant, bro. You gotta be there for that child, man. This nigga wants to pay 18 years of child support, which I guess is smart. Yo, but what about the child, bro? Fuck about the child, nigga. The fuck is that with Jordan? You know they say that's Jordan, son. Is that with Jordan, your mother? Or the low? Is that where you got that idea from? It's like, I don't know if that's Jordan, son. But still, though, like, I don't know, yo, we fucked up. Hey, Carl, what you talking about? But we can't be, you know, we can't nitpick the situation. A lot of people deserve prison, bro. See, that's the issue, Carl. You see what you just said? Yo, a lot of people deserve prison for some of the shit that they did. But they never go. They never get held accountable. But it seems like when it comes down to black males, they hold them overly accountable. I'm just saying, make it even. If we moving on, if this how we moving, let's move as one. I mean, let's make it a unit. Don't move on your own, and then when the other niggas move, you talking about life in prison. Nah, fuck no, that shit ain't cool, bro. See, that's that manipulative shit that they trick motherfuckers thinking that shit cool. That shit not cool. The fuck make your crime different than mine? Oh, because it's in the interest of the country. Man, fuck no, that shit ain't never. Man, 9 times out of 10, they not moving on it. They're not moving with intentions of the people. Man, fuck no, man. They don't give a fuck about the people. They moving on their own interests. We just watched the whole video about it. Like, they just stamped everything we've been saying. They're not moving on the best interests of the people. You think people wanted their fucking, all their cell phone records extracted, stolen? Shit was stolen. They don't tell them what they got. They probably got new pics of their wife. Nigga. And I ain't talking to you, I'm just saying in general. Tell them what the fuck these people got. They probably got, man, ain't no telling what they got, man. What they be searching through. You never know. You never know, bro. And they get away with it daily. You guys, so you must just came in, bro. You gotta go to the beginning of the video and see how we got there. You know, we went through a whole little, you know what I mean? I know YouTube ain't sending out notifications because we're having way more people on here. Yeah, you gotta see how we got there, yo. These people dirty, bro. Disgusting. Get away with the shit. They don't need to make it fair between how they treat black people and how they treat white people. Why the fuck is he always back there? Wait for your cousin, nigga. Fuck is he always walking behind? I think I was picking them up. I ain't picking them niggas up. They was walking. Fucking thirsty. Wait about the store real quick. Yo, they do it. Yo, the object, and they do this to all women, not just black women. The object is to separate the man from the woman, so they can get control of the kids. That always been status quo. Hold on, let me run here real quick. You ain't been fucking around. Where you working at? I ain't put up on it. I'm gonna get up there though. I tried to on Facebook. My bad, y'all. This shit took long as a bit. It's not that they don't know. It ain't that they don't know they can be doctor. They haven't seen any. Like, you gotta realize, yo, some of these communities is severely depressed. You ain't seen nobody make it. I was talking about that the other day with the rappers. You know what I mean? When you ain't never see nobody make it, it's hard to see past what's in front of you. And it sounds good to say, you know, you can be whatever you want to be. But when you look outside your window, all you see is death and destruction. Then that shit kind of take away from it. I'll meet y'all over there. Yeah, you got the green one. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta realize, man, a lot of these communities they never seen nobody make it. You know what I mean? That's why a lot be depending on some of these rap niggas. You know, maybe unintentionally, but it hurt to see Durk go down. It did. Cause Durk is a symbol of the struggle. You know what I mean? He's a symbol of the struggle. A lot of kids, especially in Chicago, see Durk and be like, yo, shit, I can be the next Durk. I ain't even got a rat. I can be the next Durk, you know what I mean? So when you see the nigga go down, it's like, damn, yo ain't even make it. Yo ain't even make it. You ain't got too many Ben Carsons in the neighborhood. I mean, like I was telling y'all before, yo, way more people die, yo. Way more people die than you think, especially in some of these cities. With like murders is like, you know what I mean? 200, 300 something murders a year. And that shit been going on for 40 years. Got back in this motherfucker. Wow, man. Now, before I started riding around my kids, my car was clean, man. Started riding around these fucking kids. Fucking car ain't never clean. Alright, go ahead. I had two cars, and one car was to ride them around, and the other car was just to not ride them around in. Car used to be clean as a bitch. Definitely saw in elementary school. That shit designed just like a prison. School is designed just like a prison. It teaches obedience. Teach obedience. Authority. You know what I mean? Yeah, especially nowadays, do drop. Nowadays, everybody want to be in the streets. They think that shit fun. Or, I don't know what the fuck they think. Streets has always been treacherous. That's why so many of these young boys doing all this snitching and shit. They get caught. They ain't ready to face no consequences. Cause they ain't really built. They ain't trying to face no consequences. They trying to tell on something to get out of it. Right now, the streets is being glamorized through drill music. Everybody want to be a drill rapper because it looks like drill raps are winning. But it ain't look like that to the ignorant mind that can't see, through the smoke and mirrors. To the ignorant mind, look like drill rap winning. Shit, you can rap for 3 years and get an Adam 22 interview. Shit. I don't think about death or prison. No, that shit don't cross their mind. Go ahead. Come on. How you get so far behind, man? They were already up here. What you mean they was already up there? Y'all in the store together. Hey, go ahead, okay. Oh, it's a nice day outside today. 70-something degrees. Yeah, drill rap is a disease. Yeah, I've been calling for the ban of drill rap for 2 years. For 2 years, I'm saying, yo, we need to ban, we need to somehow get a hold of this drill rap shit. Shit got to go. It's killing us. It's detrimental. It's detrimental, man. Drill rap talk about killing people in front of their kids and killing women. It's kill rap. They just put a fancy name on it. Called it drill. But it's really kill music. Oh, yeah. Murder Act. God damn, bro. Man. It's just hard to get rid of drill rap because these kids think, it's a valuable option to get money. They think they're gonna, they think they're gonna become a successful drill rapper and they're gonna move their family out the hood, or not even out the hood, just out there circumstances. But it's never gonna happen. Very seldom does that happen. Way more die than anything. I don't know how they got these people start telling on themselves. Like that shit. I never thought we'd see. I never thought we'd see that day. Like motherfuckers really just be telling on themselves. Clout. That's about realism. If you real, and we know you real, they'll support you. But a lot of these drill rappers can't even rap. That's one thing about King Von. King Von could rap. He put a story together. I haven't heard a hard drill rapper since. Right hand on Lord Jeff was weak. Right hand on Q50 weak. I ain't really heard no Von off 1700. He just looked funny. He looked like Arthur. Petro. He said he's not in the studio like they used to. Because yo, to be a drill rapper, you don't have to actually rap. You don't have to know how to rap. You just gotta know how to make your crimes rhyme. You know what I mean? Or crimes that you seen rhyme. And not even rhyme, because them DC niggas, that shit is horrible. With that shit they I can't, that was that. That little young DC free car music shit, that shit garbage. Like the worst kind of garbage. Like hot garbage. Oh, you gotta make that, son. Yeah, they put they attach the monetary value to it. You know, a lot of times when money kind of make people compromise certain aspects of their life when you put a monetary budget on it. Motherfuckers start compromising shit. Look at niggas on YouTube. You can compromise like a motherfucker. Everybody trying out for a YouTube chat. Nigga doing some of the wildest things imaginable. I seen say Nash on Real Life Street Stars. He's like, yeah, the hood lawyer. Right, nigga? That nigga takes me garbage. Like, what the fuck? Yo takes is the worst or every case. Yo ain't never said nothing I thought that was pertinent information. Unless he got it from me. I mean that shit. If that nigga said anything pertinent over there on that channel about any case, he got that shit from Keeping G News. I done showed y'all several videos that nigga copying me verbatim. So they all in shorts. Would that nigga go with his old? Yo takes be trash. But they bring yo on Real Life Street Stars and make it seem like he the guy to go to. That nigga don't know what the fuck he talking about. Nigga ain't never even been arrested before. Like, how the fuck is you listen to a nigga that never even been arrested? Break down criminal case. There's only a few ways you can know about this system. If you dealt with it personally, they went to school for it. Other than that, you ain't gonna understand this system, man, and how this shit works. It take years. And I'm talking about going through it on a high capacity. I mean, not no petty shit. Cause a lot of times with the petty shit, they don't get down and dirty. They don't start getting down and dirty until they start talking about 50 years, 40 years, life in prison. Then you see how dirty it get, like how really, I mean, they dirty all together. But when they start talking about the upper echelon, then you see how dirty it really is. You be like, oh shit, these motherfuckers crazy. They going above, they going beyond the Call of Duty. Yeah, for real. Yeah, see, but the play with 6ix9ine didn't work. 6ix9ine don't make no money in the United States. The 6ix9ine play didn't work. So they ran it back with Troy Ave. That's what I was telling y'all the other day. It worked with Troy Ave. They ran it through Wack. Wack is the one that introduced snitch culture. Because now we know now that they've been trying to turn the internet into a crime fighting tool. The biggest crime fighting tool. Make their job easier. We learned that early on in the video. Draco. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we did. We just talked about it the other day. Well, if you notice, all the snitches go through WAC 100. They all go through WAC 100. That's how you know he had that man an operative or something. There is some type of federal agent. WAC an agent, man. WAC working with them people hand and foot. And Loose Cannon. Loose Cannon working with them people too. I can't work with no motherfucking law enforcement. Fuck out of here. Oh no, 6ix9ine ain't got no hold blood set. 6ix9ine be in Puerto Rico or Mexico some motherfucking way. 6ix9ine don't make no money in the States. Because see, they couldn't do it with 6ix9ine because 6ix9ine was an outsider already. You know, most people didn't believe him anyway. Like, I've never heard nobody in Baltimore bump 6ix9ine. Ever. At the height of his career, I did not hear not one person in Baltimore ride past bumping 6ix9ine. So even though he was making a lot of money, it still was places that rejected him off the rip. The man was a Mexican with rainbow hair. Like, what the fuck, nigga? What Gangsta'S is this? Like, I ain't never seen a gangster look like that before. The gangsters in my neighborhood, in my city, they look nothing like yo. That nigga playing. That nigga ain't no gangster. Nigga bluffing. So when he read it, it validated everything. Yo, he deserved to get kidnapped. What the fuck? Yo, they should have kidnapped him, man. He was playing. You used us, bro. Yo, 6ix9ine wouldn't have got nowhere without them. Without them boys shoddy and them putting in work. You try to use us and then back away from us. Yeah, you deserve to get kidnapped for that, bro. Deserve to get kidnapped. You playing around. You playing around. I know when they kidnapped him. I watched it on video. But what I'm saying is, what you expected them to do? You used our image. You used our muscle. And now you want to separate from us? He lucky they ain't kill his ass. Can't do that, yo. Yo, you can't do that to the streets. Like, that's the thing about the streets. You can't play the 50 with the streets. You can't play the 50 with the street. Not like that. Not when it's obvious that we helped you. We helped you build up this image, this persona, by allowing you to come in our hood and say you're blood. Now you got money, and now you want to distance yourself from us. Fuck no. You lucky they ain't kill his ass. Can't do that. No, it was their fault. I said it wasn't their fault. They should have never let 6ix9ine get that close. But still, you know, they're not gonna look at it like that. Oh, it's our fault. We're gonna take it on the chin. Fuck no. They ain't never gonna look at it like that. They should have never had. Yeah, I think 6ix9ine set them up the whole time for one. That's shit people don't want to talk about. I think 6ix9ine set them up the whole time. Look at him. I should pull off on his ass. You scared of a little rain, yo? So you scared of a little rain?
I'm not.
All right, come on. Yeah, so 6ix9ine, if y'all look at that indictment of them boys, everything that they got indicted for, 6ix9ine told them they did on behalf. Like the shit really was entrapment. But since the feds, and if they already moving that way, look at the charges, y'all. Shooting at Chief Keef, the fight with Casanova, all that shit was 6ix9ine related, man. All of it. Set them up from the beginning, man. 6ix9ine caught that weird ass case and became a federal informant. You know he had a case when he first came out on an underage girl. He became a federal informant, man. And his role was to take down GS9. I mean, not GS9. The 9 Trey Bloods. That's why he tried to attack. Jim Jones like that. He wanted Jim Jones in the indictment too. That was been the federal informant. I can't believe people who ever believed him. I never looked at 6ix9ine and thought, yo, it's a wild young kid. I thought he was a goofball in the beginning. They don't even fuck with 6ix9ine in some of them parts of Mexico, wherever the fuck he from. But yeah, that whole indictment was all charged that 6ix9ine told them to do. Shooting at Chief Keef. Did I say that already? Casanova situation, shooting at Chief Keef. Or the robbery. They did that just because 6ix9ine was playing games. Kidnapping and shit. Lock them boys up. Lock them boys up. But they shouldn't have allowed him to get that close. Like, if y'all was gonna use y'all, that was the fucking house fell down. Damn. What the fuck going on out here? If they was gonna use y'all for the benefit of the gang, they supposed to make sure he just was a rapper. I mean, he wasn't supposed to be doing nothing streetwise. He wasn't supposed to be dropping no motherfucking hits. Even with this Chief Keef, I don't want you to shoot him. Who the fuck does that? Who the fuck pays somebody $30,000 and they don't want you to shoot him? I just want you to shoot at him. Come on, man. Man, set them boys up. See, but they'll never, because it'll make them look bad. Like, if y'all let a rainbow head kid put you in the trick bag, what? How the fuck y'all let that happen? They'll never admit that they got set up from the beginning. Just like a lot of places won't never admit that drill music turned their city up. You know, it's almost kind of an indictment on your city or an indictment on your gang. Just to say that you let a outside entity influence y'all to the point now y'all this bitch acting out of the ordinary. Man, ain't no parking spot. I was on live when you called me, bro. That's my answer. Yeah, I think Wack been informing since Death Row. I showed y'all they was investigating Death Row for murders and drug selling. I think that's when Wack developed his disdain for street guys, because he was a truck driver, and they put the press on him, and he couldn't take it, so he told, or he started cooperating. That's why whenever he talk about street guys, he talk about it. Street niggas stupid as shit. You street niggas, the rats getting the money. Like, he say shit like that. I heard him say it. I done heard him say the rats is getting money. Now they got my man Eugene Buck. Got my man Eugene, man. Y'all know Wack probably sleeping so comfortable now. Yeah, man. That nigga, yo probably sleeping comfortable as a bitch, Eugene Buck. Yo probably like, yes. With patience and dedication. With patience and dedication, everything's possible. I'm telling you. He probably so fucking happy. Finally got him. Mission complete. Operation Draws down. There's name Tiny Draws. I think Wack probably one of the highest paid informants right now. I think them social media informers getting paid. They probably paying them handsome. You gotta think, y'all. Why is Wack on Clubhouse? Why is he on Clubhouse? Clubhouse don't pay nobody. Yeah, man. Nobody gets paid from Clubhouse. But he's on that bitch religiously. Them niggas that post his videos, they don't pay him. He don't get a percentage of that. Yeah. He's on Clubhouse just to push his bullshit. Just to push his bullshit. Push his narrative. Wack 100 voice loud as shit. Yo got probably one of the loudest voices in the community. This shit probably louder than Charleston White's. All the motherfucking pages, that's shame. I got like 35 YouTube pages. You see, call Wack 137. What's up, kid? Yeah, Wack a wild ass nigga. But he won't have no conversation with a person that is challenging. His voice loud. Yo, the reason I come at these people like that, because my sole focus is not monetary. I don't like what's going on in the community. I don't like what's going on with the youth. I don't like what's going on with the adults. I don't like what's going on with the crime. I don't like none of what's going on. So I gotta come at them niggas, cause them niggas is the ones that's perpetuating it. They force feeding us with the bullshit. It just so happened YouTube is complicit, like we just learned early in the video. So when you go after them motherfuckers, they start playing with your numbers. Yeah, hell yeah. You know how that shit go, big loyalty. That be the thing about it. Like they think they in. And they think the federal government got cared for them. Ain't no fucking loyalty. They fuck around release his name and court documents when they done with him. Like they did Trisha's Deeds. Release his initials. Let the internet figure it out, like the internet did. Oh yeah? That's a crime. Yo, Wack committed so many crimes in this big U investigation. He's an unindicted and went unindicted. Like, it's just so obvious that the man is working with the people. Damn, fucking spit went down my throat. Shit. Hold up, bro. Yeah, it's so obviously working with the people. Oh, Rabbit. You talking about Lil Wayne for? What Rabbit? The dude, what's it called, just came home from out St. Louis. The dude, Fat Cat. Yo, just came home. Ain't telling on nobody. Nobody. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Dang. Oh shit. Fuck him, man. I don't even want to watch that shit. Yo, Terrence Williams shouldn't even be a thing, yo. I always tell y'all about him. Yo, you know how many people you gotta tell on, yo, to give a life plus sentence back? To have a life plus sentence commuted to 25 years or some shit like that. Yo, do you know how much cooperating you gotta do with federal government? You're agent too. You're agent too. Y'all don't think Terrence still working? Yo gave a life plus sentence back. And he was the lead, he was the head of the indictment. At least one of them. Like how Big Meech was. Yo, when you the head of the indictment, yo, they don't be giving you motherfucking breaks and time cuts and shit when you the head of the indictment. Man, fuck no. Not the feds. Terrence is with the feds. Told on Habizo. It's just fucked up that Birdman, you know, they try to salvage their name, so they'll never come clean about his full cooperation, because that's an indictment on their family. But that's why him and Habizo be beefing. He told on Habizo. Man ain't telling, and he testified on him. And he testified on him. But Habizo never say it because Birdman ain't going to let him say it. You just see him every now and then going back and forth online. I did a video on it. It's in court documents. I mean, it's in an article. Man told on that man. Told a lot of people, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Like, that man did a lot of cooperating. You got to. If you wanna give a life sentence back. That man got a life sentence commuted. What's up, son?
What's up?
He got a life sentence commuted to 20 years or 25 years. That man cooperated on everybody he could cooperate on. And he did it more than once. She was like 3 rounds of cooperation. The first round of cooperation he told on the correctional officers. And he started telling immediately. Like, this ain't no situation where he sat for 20 years like he said. You know, I was sitting in there and I'm like, man, how can I get out of here? No, nigga, you started telling on year 2, nigga. Fuck you talking about? He told all through his bit. The fuck? That man was telling. First he started cooperating. He told on the correctional officers. He lied the correctional officers up with his so-called plug that happened to be the FBI. Got them booked. They took some time off for that. I seen the story where he pulled the toll on other inmates. I don't know if that's true or not, but I can believe it. Then he told on the first round of bodies. And then he was trying to hold the other bodies. He wasn't trying to tell on Habizo now, because he's going to testify on them. But eventually, he told on Habizo now. I'm just saying, I don't watch the niggas. I'm not trying to sit back and watch a rat. Lie. I can't believe he lied so much. Especially something like this honorable Terrence. Crazy. I don't even call that nigga gangster. His name Terrence. I'm gangster about that shit he did. And the crazy thing about it is, like, what makes other, like, there's no way I'm the only one that thinks like this. Like, what makes people want to interview Terrence? You know what I mean? You know the man's a certified rat. He's a certified liar. He lies. He rats. Tells. You know what I mean? He's dishonorable. What would make you know what? This is a good guy to interview. This is a great interview candidate. Get the fuck out of here. For what? Nigga ain't telling the truth. Yo, the man first day home, he went to YouTube. Let you know who the fuck goes to YouTube first day home? After doing 20 years. His first day home, he put up a YouTube video. Yeah, I'm home. No people thought I was gonna die in the prison, but I'm too shrewd. She called it shrewd. That's what he said. Yeah, it's in the video I did. You do 20 years, bro, which means you got locked up before the internet was even a thing. So what the fuck would make you come home and post a YouTube video up? It's a little strange to me. I don't know how y'all look at it. That's just a tad bit odd. You know? Maybe y'all see it different. Well, odd to me. To me. Oh, goodness. I'm fucking energy low. Hey, yo, come on, y'all 70 degrees outside. What y'all gonna sit in the car? Y'all gonna sit in the car on a 70-degree day? That was wild. Yo, if it was 70 degrees outside, I would be outside the whole day. Like from start to finish. Going in the house when it's dark. kid's crazy, man. He probably did tell her. He probably told about the Underground Railroad. Got the Underground Railroad knocked off. Hey, he probably told her that was Snowden. Motherfucker told everybody he could think of, man. He probably. He implicated them in something. Yo lined up correctional officers with a fake plug. Don't do it, Eugene. But he probably told her a big U too. Like Terrence, man, that boy vicious. It's like they trying to put all these guys in the hip hop industry. You know, similar like the hip hop police. They're getting all these guys in the industry, getting around these people so they can take them down. Probably got wires on. Who the fuck knows? I don't put nothing past a rat. Y'all know that by now. Once somebody rat, I believe damn near anything negative you say about them. For real. Like, you can tell me some of the wildest shit imaginable. Like, for real, I ain't surprised. So y'all gonna sit in the car? Oh wow, man. Our kids crazy. Don't do it, Eugene. And we need to get Whack over here so we can ask some questions. Got some questions for you, Broham. Got some real questions, bro. Yeah, when you said don't do it, Eugene, what was going through your mind? I want to know. When you said Eugene Henley, draws, don't do it. What was you thinking? Like, you know, just take us through that process. Like, what made you say his whole name and his nickname in one sentence? I think he should. Yo, that's a valuable question. I mean, I never heard that before. Hey, yo, what made you do that, bro? Yeah. I'd rather die, yo, than do all that, bro. Fuck it. Just kill me, yo. I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. I don't even want a motherfucker to be able to brag. Like, yo, when I called him, that motherfucker trying to say my whole name. I mean, motherfucker brag about some shit like that. Yo said my whole name, W. It was a Baltimore shit. First, last, middle, nickname. Man, that man was pleading. Fuck that. Look, Jackie, that's the funny thing I always bring it back to. Yo, he just wanted to fight him, yo. Like, yo, you did all that for a fight, my nigga? A fight? A squabble? Like, I mean, he just was a little squabble. You know what I mean? You always talking about you want to get down. I mean, Biggie was trying to get down. Yo, they did. Brick Baby, Brick Baby spoke about it. But Whack 100 voice is so loud, it overshadows everybody. So when he explained it. Matter of fact, I heard him explain it. He explained it differently. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they should have got out. Like, he was ready. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. They probably could have chased him around the car with the gun. He probably would have ran around the car with the gun. I seen a video like that the other day. He pulled the strap out and was getting chased around the car with a knife. I said, damn, he a vicious motherfucker. Might as well sell that bitch. The meat. I mean, not the meat. But you might as well sell that motherfucker. Yeah, that shit was crazy. Yeah, he was scared of that, man. It was obvious. Use the internet against him. Got old loose lips cannon. Loose lips sink ships cannon. See, your loose lips can't go on the compound. He's a dead man on the compound. See, but Brick Baby didn't tell on Big. See, Brick Baby is not in this indictment because Brick Baby never told on Big U. Brick Baby just implicated himself in a whole bunch of fucking crimes, but he never went into detail. You know what I mean, that's the thing. You gotta go into detail, like how Loose Cannon did. But you find out now that it was all set up because Whack 100 recorded. When Loose Cannon got, if you watch that live we did for the day, when Loose Cannon got grabbed by the feds, he called the informant. And it told the informant that he didn't want to do that to him. Big U made him. Try to paint himself as a victim while Whack was recording it. That shit was a play from the beginning. Loose Cannon been cooperating. They just had to make it look good, like how they did the girl. How they did the girl when the guys that killed Lil Ronnie. Remember how they locked her up at the scene, made it look like she, you know what I mean, the whole time she lined Joe up. She knew what the fuck was going on. They already talked to her. You would think they do. Yo, Clout overrides common sense, dude, right? Clout overrides judgment. Clout overrides common sense. When a person is moving off of clout, they're not using their brain. They're using their greed. You know what I mean? They're using the lust for monetary gain, I guess. I don't know how you explain it or characterize it. But they're not using their common sense because common sense would tell you, especially now when you're just seeing so many people get indicted off rap lyrics, and I mean, common sense would tell you that the feds is watching. And now we find out that this was designed for this. I mean, they've been doing this shit since 2007. 2007 is when it started. They just, you know, I think, like I said, we just saying the fruits. We just saying the fruits of it. You guys send it to me. Send it to my Instagram. We can watch it later on. I think Rainwater did remove the gun. I think Mo 3 was applying so much pressure down there that Mo 3 had to go. But ultimately, Mo 3 got killed over a female. I don't think that shit was no Yo Beezy shit. Yeah, that's a dangerous motherfucker, Big Low. At least dangerous. He probably was trying to line Brick Baby up for real. To get Brick Baby to talk about some more crimes. I didn't even think about that. This kind of probably was trying to line Brick Baby up. Because now you think about some of the conversations them boys had. They had, between them two, they had some wild conversations on that platform. That's when Brick Baby said he got more scars than he got squabbles. How the fuck did that conversation come about? Who started that? And then the last conversation they had before they got booked, he tried to get Brick Baby to implicate Big U, but Brick Baby got quiet. He just looked at him. Brick Baby just in a tight spot because of them guns. They gonna probably give him 15 for that shit. He got a long ass record. What the fuck was that, Sean? A horrible shot. There you go, man. You know, when them indictments come down, everybody trying to get from up under them. And niggas they try to go to jail, but oh well. Man, fuck that shit. My goal is to stay the fuck away from them people at all costs. Hey man, I ain't doing nothing illegal. Crazy. It's designed. What's up? Just make sure you subscribe to the channel if you need, man. But y'all, we be back live at 11. We 3 hours in. Should appreciate everybody that tapped in. Hopefully 11, since that's our normal time, to give us some rhythm. I think our lives been affected because I ain't been able to put tags in my videos because I can't get back into my app. But I'm gonna try though. Make sure I subscribe to the channel. Man, what? It's another day. Keep it your news, and I'm out.